Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
It all makes sense. In a comic, you know how you can tell who the arch villain's going to be? He's the exact opposite of the hero. And most times they're friends like you and me. I should have known way back when. You know why, David? Because of the kids.
Recorded to you live from the cafeteria on the Shield Helicarrier. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Yeah! This is the Wicked Theory Podcast, kids. Strap in. It's going to be a wild one.
Metal!
We'll get to that in a second.
I can't hear you!
As usual, I got my my co-pilot Dom.
What's going
Dom,
on?
say something. I got Bob.
Hey,
Bob,
what's
say
up?
or play something.
Hello.
All right. Ooh, and
We
then
got a very special guest in the room,
the
also, ladies and
screaming
gentlemen.
Mimi, the squealing squawker, Socko Jones, from Comic Book Jones. New York City's finest comic book based establishment.
The only.
Stop!
No, well, hey, I never won any awards for anything.
We're
but-
pretty good.
But your store's got a couple of plaques and statues and kudos.
No, we don't have any. We have stickers on the door.
Is that
And
true?
a banner we made ourselves, but we didn't get anything else.
Hey, it's
And
still
as far
official.
Self-made
As
banners.
far as plaques goes, you brush your teeth, it comes right off.
This is true.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, maybe
What
I'll
a
start
pick.
that, I guess. It sounds complicated.
No.
So, Socko, man, we've been
What?
trying to get you on the show for a little while where
Yeah.
we guy crush on you a little bit. I'd say love, but I don't want you to get stuck on me. You know what I mean? I think there's like some kind of...
That's all him. That's all him.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
would you guy crush on me?
Well, no, I don't mean it like that.
No,
Right.
I
But
know
I
you
mean, I
mean
did
it like
say it.
that,
I did
but
say it.
'Cause-
But no, you're a funny guy.
Oh.
And I
You're a funny guy too. though.
no, I know. That's why we get
So is
along.
My mother thinks you're hysterical.
Does she?
Yeah, I told her.
I think she like just keeps an eye on me. Like she's waiting. She's probably waiting for me to be funny, but I think she's waiting for me to steal something.
No, she did not know.
He definitely is.
She definitely thinks you're funny because I texted her today. She texted me. She said, "What are you doing today?" And I told her I was like laundry,
Right.
hanging out with the kid, chilling at home,
Sure.
watching wrestling, and then I said later on I'm gonna be doing Bill Sweeney's podcast, and she goes, "Who?"
It's my number one fan.
I was gonna say.
And then you
I was gonna
know,
say. I
the
thought
guy
she knew
who-
his name for a second. I was like,
But no,
how
you
the
know,
fuck she knows his
but the funny thing is, all I did was text her back, Bill who comes into the store. And she texted me back, "Oh, the tall, thin guy who's very funny."
I'll take it.
Wow.
It ought to be really good because you're both very funny.
Well then,
So-
good. Well, all right then.
That's pretty good.
What's
I
her,
told her, I
what's
said
her
she-
schedule like? When can she be on the show?
I told her to check out Periscope, and she had no idea what I was
She had
talking
no idea.
about. So-
Tell her we need people to write emails.
Yeah. I'm sure she could swing that.
I heard from somebody
throwing
that they
texts out,
sent
she
in an
could-
email. So
Somebody.
yeah, you may have
Somebody.
One.
This person
Yeah.
really wants a little cross promotion.
Yeah, somebody. It's not me.
Not you.
It
Well,
certainly
what's
is
funny
not.
about emails, kids, is that we share a email stalker. How's that for resonance? You like that? You
That's
like
my
it?
beer on the table.
That's his brewski.
Yeah,
what are you drinking right there?
I'm drinking
buddy?
Peroni.
Peroni.
Fancy.
Peroni. Yeah, it's
Some
it's
fancy
an
shit.
Italian beer.
Do you have to have macaroni with a tall, cold Peroni?
That's cute.
You like that?
Yeah.
I spent 6 years in advertising.
Send
so
them an email.
I should.
Did
I
you
should.
really?
No. I sold it to you right now, though, right?
Fool me once.
I'll fool you again.
Yeah.
So anyway, we share an email stalker. You might know this kid.
Who?
Ed.
Ed.
I don't know if you remember.
TBD?
TBD. Tibda.
The ex-host of the WCBJ.
Indeed. And,
podcast.
he was on here not that long ago. We had him on this show.
Did you really?
Yeah, I apologize that we had him on before you.
Oh, I don't care.
No, I'm only fucking kidding. I'm only
Oh, you don't care?
I don't
Oh,
care.
suddenly it's a...
I don't care none.
I don't care a little bit. Actually, we had Sal on before him, too.
Who? Sal who?
Trip. You might know him as Tripper Jones.
You go through all my hosts?
Yeah, that was it. We warmed up on them first.
So who else did you have on so I know who to make my next host? So I guess Dom's dad is going to be my next host.
I guess so.
You could, out of the rest that's left, you couldn't pick better, probably.
Yeah.
You probably could.
You probably
You
could.
definitely could.
I don't know.
He needs his own show.
That's good drinking with your dad and see.
Well,
there you go.
That is not hard to do.
That might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely be interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Kind of like an episode of Flyboy.
Yeah. Who? I have no idea what that is.
He keeps on saying Flyboy. He means Airboy.
Airboy.
The
my
comic.
bad.
The
The
comic. book.
comic. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did I screwed up like that? Wow.
And he said episode.
an episode of
Episode. I've been doing that a lot at home.
Bob's from Europe, so they do things a little different out there. You know,
That's right.
Yeah, I was born there and I was like shipped over here.
just in time for the accent to wash out. So anyway, so Sal
Titanic.
actually is the one. Sal Tripp is the one who probably said to you, "Oh, I sent an email. I saw
From the slant.
from the slant radio." I was surprised to see slant radio.
You're saying that he told me that he sent an email?
That's what my presumption is because
No.
I do have
Presumption.
emails.
There's somebody else that
I don't say
know.
assumption anymore because everybody likes that whole S at a you and me line. So I just say presume now
Okay, that's good.
because no one else really knows the difference if I'm using that right anyway. So I'm like, I'll just go with that, and this way I totally cancel out that corny line every time. Like you know what I'm saying?
You done yet or what?
Nah. Yeah, I'm done. So anyway, Sal just kind of gave us oh hey, have fun. It's
that's an actual email?
yeah, hey,
Yeah, right.
have fun.
Just so he hears his name mentioned.
Basically, it's so this is his email. It's wonderful to hear Socko made it out of there under such treacherous weather conditions. Be safe, y'all. So I don't.
You know what? That's probably also a jab to when I was guest on his show and he tried to have me on a couple of times.
Oh.
And it was like during when the snow and the ice.
Oh, that's
was
right.
really
That's
bad.
right. Yeah. He had told me about that. That like every time he's trying to get
Right.
you on some
It was
What a
just bad.
A
debacle.
natural occurrence.
some natural.
Do you think
God
he
was trying to
do you think
prevent.
it was a poke more than anything?
It was just that I really didn't want to go.
You were like called up your weather pals and were like,
Exactly.
fix it for me.
I just looked out the window. I'm like,
My weather pals.
Do you think he's taking
No,
a
I
little
had to-
jab
That should be the
at-
title of the
Thanks for
episode,
not
Weather
coming?
Pals.
Weather pals. That's his news show starting on NBC this fall. So Ed also sent us some emails. So we rip through emails in the beginning of our show, much like you do at the beginning of your show.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not copying anything. So,
Oh wait, so you don't check for more emails though?
like all fresh out the.
Yeah. You have a segment.
If
and that's
lately
it?
what I've been doing is because my internet connection here was kind of wonky, was that I print them out ahead of time.
Right.
Because 2 episodes ago, bro, I was trying to use my iPad, and all of a sudden it was like, well, I'm not working here. So,
Oh, okay.
So rather than have a situation like that again, so I print out the goodies. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So what we do with Ed's, because Ed sends like 20 at a time.
No,
I don't know if you're aware of this, because
No,
Waffle's
he's
pretty
done,
much.
he's done it on the show.
I heard the last 2 episodes.
On our
And,
show.
yeah, it sounds like you guys suffer from the same thing we do. Not suffer, but you guys, because Ed turns out that he's on the bus ride listening to the podcasts to work, and then so he's emailing from the ride.
Oh, okay.
So that's why when you open it up, you got 5 of them.
So
he's
as,
doing one
as
every
he's,
day.
as he's listening, he's
He's sending out one like
okay.
every day. To,
Dig it, I got it.
I can only imagine what
I
he's
just
doing.
always thought he was being a dick.
Yeah. It's like, why does every email have to have one
I
sentence?
can cuss, right?
Oh, too late. That's
No,
it. Show's
I've been-
over. No, you
I think I already
violated
said
rule
fuck
number
twice,
7.
so.
Yeah, I probably said something like that.
I don't want to mention the name, but there was a show that I was on, and like they kept stopping every time I said like,
Oh,
fuck
no
or
way.
shit. Yeah.
No way.
So
One show I
like,
was on,
yikes.
I didn't even realize I
We
was
just
doing it
don't
until like
give a fuck
halfway.
here.
I opened a beer too. Like I brought beer, and they were like, kind of like, I was like, oh,
Are you going to
this
drink that here?
fucking sucks,
You're not going to
man.
drink that, are you?
Yeah.
So,
Was this before or after they had a priest come in and bless?
Yeah. This is 4 years ago. 5 years ago.
anyway,
They had priest then? Yeah.
I think so. They've been around for a little while.
Yeah, they were busy molesting.
I'm going to match you with that one.
Thank you.
But that's just coffee, so probably stinks even worse than yours.
Mine smells?
No, I'm just assuming.
hit you?
No.
Really?
No.
Come on. You said it probably smells
I said it
even
probably
worse than yours.
I am presuming.
Implying that
I'm-
He was
I'm
presuming. I was just going to say
presuming-
he's presuming.
Right.
I'm presuming that the Peroni beer, much like any other beer, is going to have a certain scent, and that mine would top it.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
all I was saying. I was taking the heat for that one. I was,
I appreciate it.
I was trying to be like, hey, human burps, no good. Mine even worse.
Human?
That's what I'm saying. So Ed wants to know if adding a soundtrack would help or hurt a comic book reading experience. Does anybody
It
like?
helps. I used to do it all the time.
read with music in the background, right?
Yep.
I've been known to do it too. Like not so much anymore, but I used to do it in the past once in a while.
Yeah, I pretty much can't read anything like
Just imagine
without
this
noise
behind,
in the background.
the fight scene music.
Well,
There you
yeah.
go. You know,
I used to play. I had on vinyl the Suite from the Grand Canyon. Just look it up, and that I would play that a lot.
I think you made
or
that
I
up.
would do. No, I'm dead serious. And,
Wait. The band was the Grand Canyon.
no, it's an orchestra.
Oh,
Like
sweet.
the Suite.
Oh, I got you.
from
I
the-
got you.
It's
Okay.
either from the or called the Grand Canyon, and a lot of I would listen to a lot of
I find
what do you
instrumentals and soundtracks
no, it
for
was
me.
all instrumentals.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
The words
Because
tend to get in the way
As soon as somebody
sometimes.
starts singing,
Yeah.
right, then
Yeah.
I'm fucked. And
Soon as
I
you
can't
got
stop
something like
singing
that-
along.
over and over again.
Once you got something like that opened up the show, that big high squealing.
yeah,
Exactly.
You know?
If I had a voice
No,
like
we're not
that, I
getting-
wouldn't
we're
stop.
not
metal
getting-
scream.
I'm not getting any more for that. I'm not getting no. No. Thank you.
There you
Just
go.
wanted to make sure the equipment was working. That was it. So I'm not leveling this episode out at all. So if you're wearing headphones right now,
Yeah,
at
turn
all-
your headphones
Ultra
down.
Lounge too. The whole Ultra Lounge collection I would listen to a lot.
Ultra loud.
Yeah, because they had like different ones. They had like
I
crime,
like the sound of
old like
that.
crime
Bossa
TV
Nova.
stuff. You know,
Okay,
too.
sure. Ultra lounge.
Yeah.
Isn't that a club you used
You
to
are
work at?
listening to the
I
Ultra.
actually used to run a offshoot of a club called the Zuzu Lounge that I DJ'd at every Saturday night. We used to change everything around in the club. That was the old. I think it's called Besso now, down by the ferry.
Oh, the restaurant.
I know the place.
Yeah.
Beso, Beso, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, all
I've been there.
No, I know that you got some wiki
I gotta
in
take
your
this
business.
off. I'm sorry.
No, it's all
It's
right.
screwing
Whatever
me
works.
up. I feel like I can't hear everybody. It's
Okay,
No
that's
problem.
fine. So it's really only for me, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you got some wiki in your history.
Yes, I do.
So Ed's next question is, what is the least intimidating name for a hurricane?
I mean, you could say like Twilight Sparkle, something like that.
Give it a
Right,
princess.
yeah.
Give it a
When they
pony,
start
give it a
naming after
pony name.
Care Bears,
The
then
whole
I think
pony
you got.
thing.
Then I think that's the answer there.
All right. That sounds about right, though. You know, you gotta give it some
Grumpy. Hurricane Grumpy.
He's grumpy. He's
Sort
gonna
of cranky pants.
he's coming for you.
Sneezy,
Hurricane wham wham. All
wimpy.
right. So, what fictional world would you hate to live in as a sanitation worker?
What fictional world would you like to live in? As a
Hate to.
hate to live.
Hate
in.
to work as a sanitation guy.
Well,
in
any
that.
world that Tim Burton creates, probably.
It's probably gonna be messy. You
Yeah,
think? It's
true.
gonna be a lot of
The real
It's
world.
gonna have a lot of
Schmutz.
Halloween candy wrappers all over the place.
The world we live in.
The world we live
fair
in
enough.
seems pretty shitty to be a sanitation worker.
I'd probably have to go with, once again, I'm going to go with My Little Pony, like there.
Yeah.
'Cause
that would be the best.
No, but you're scooping up like their shit. They're happy jumping
sparkling
around.
shit, though,
But you're the
Socko. It's
sanitation
sparkling.
worker who's going around
It smells-
scooping up their shit.
Yeah, but it smells like roses and it sparkles.
You could-
How do you know that,
You
though?
could-
They've never touched on that. You're assuming that that's how it is.
Actually,
true. We
probably
don't even
They've
know
never
if
touched on that.
That's My Little Pony.
Sure, we don't even know if
Max,
they
yeah.
eat.
It could actually
Yeah,
be the
they
opposite.
ma-
It could be
they
They
do
might
eat.
not even shit.
because
They
they're
do
so
eat.
sweet and sugary
No,
that
yeah,
they
I
have
mean,
the
I'm
most
thinking,
rancid,
you know,
foul.
My Little Pony poop.
Bowel
You could
movements
probably taste it.
imaginable.
You could probably scoop it. give
I
it
would
a-
love to
give
like
a little
grab an
sample.
episode and just like edit in like how you see horses in parades just
Right,
fucking
right.
letting it go.
Sure.
You know, just have the ponies interacting and every so often like
Oh my
dropping.
god! I can't believe we have to go do this.
Yeah.
and just kind of like stop talking mid sentence, drop a deuce,
Right. Like,
Yeah.
continue.
Or not even stop talking because that horses they don't fucking
don't-
stop.
they don't stop
They're
for
walking
nothing.
in their shit, so it doesn't
keep
make
it
a
up.
difference. You know, that'd be a shitty job.
I think that's a
Shitty job.
That's
Everybody's so
fair
happy. Huh? Sorry.
No, I was fine.
No, I felt like I was stepping on you. we
No,
have that
that's all
problem on
right.
our show. We
Yeah.
talk
What
over
about-
each other.
what
all the
about
time.
Yeah, that's the
We have
motto
no
of the
idea
show.
what's going on.
World
So
where
I'll
they
just
have
all just
parades
keep
all the
talking
time.
over each other.
I don't know.
I'm doing it on purpose.
Exactly what's going on.
I'm doing it on purpose.
You know what I mean? Could any cast member of the Muppets run for president and be considered a viable candidate?
Kermit.
Fozzie.
Any of them?
Kermit's got great values.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, he's shown that he can lead other characters.
We'll just
through
wait,
trouble.
Other
wait for you to throw this together.
I don't know.
I think
He's very
Fo-
good at finding other people. Like,
I think
always seems
Fozzie-
like that
He's
He's
happens
gonna have to
in the
put
Muppets.
pants on, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
No, you know,
Nah, I think
he's gotten
Fozzie.
away without it this long.
Have you watched the new stuff?
Yeah, you?
I did.
I love it.
I'm
I
caught
love
up.
it too.
Love it, love it,
I'm all
love it.
caught up on that shit.
It's like 30 Rock all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that, and it's
The Office.
Yeah.
it's a good. I didn't, you know, I was a worried. I'll just
You
go.
was a worried?
I was a word. I'll just go with the word that was going to come out
worried.
anyway.
Drinking your Peroni.
Oh, what the hell? Wait, hold on. I just thought of because I've been trying to tell other people what it reminds me of. The Gary Shandling show.
Oh wow.
in a
Okay,
way
wow.
because it's a talk show.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's behind the scenes. It's
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. Okay, yeah, I could
that's
definitely dig it.
That's probably like a precursor to that whole kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
to
didn't
be
see a
honest
whole
with you.
lot of it, yeah.
Especially with the whole, they don't do anymore. I think Gary was the only one to do it. They actually used 2 different camera stocks. So like when it was during the show, it was shot on,
Yeah,
one.
it
It looked
shot-
like a video.
Right.
It looked like how
Yeah.
it broadcast. And then it was on film when it was backstage, which I always.
No,
thought was
yeah,
something like
that's
that.
awesome.
You know, the people
I
don't
always
do it.
I enjoyed that about that too. But I like a lot that Kermit and Piggy aren't together. And Kermit in the first episode, he's got like, and I feel really weird saying this, like this sexier pig. That
Right,
he's got.
right,
Yeah, no,
right,
you're
right.
right.
Well, they do.
I mean,
That was
it's a
hysterical.
Muppet, but I mean, like the only way, like she's got like she's got like
she's
her
current,
eyes are
right.
more like drawn
Yes,
out with
yes.
like makeup and
She's current style.
Definitely
Piggy's
looks
still
younger.
she's
stuck
a
in the
younger
80s.
swine.
Yeah.
She was
well,
looking good.
And I forget where she's from. She has like an accent or something, like an English accent, right? The younger one.
Did you just say English?
English. I might have. When I'm talking too fast, I slur them all together.
English.
English. Anyway, so that's it for Ed.
Oh, that's it.
That's it for Ed.
That's it, Ed. No more.
Ed, I gave you 4. Okay.
No more.
And then also
You left Ed at the mall? Angela,
you can't do that. Jonathan's gonna get lost in Macy's trying to pick out clothes. That's one of our first bonding moments.
Oh,
was
yeah,
Tony
absolutely.
Danza. For me.
Yeah.
Dueling Tony Danzas.
I was ringing you up, and then I don't know who started it.
I don't know
but-
either, but we were stuck there. People on the back
But
line
you
like,
won
oh
when you
my
were like,
God.
Samantha, you left Jonathan at the mall?
That's
I don't know why that was the funniest one. There were very vulgar ones as well, but
Yeah, those were we saved those for the podcast.
this is a kid's show.
Well, we saved them for your show.
Huh?
We saved them for your show.
Yeah, sure.
We did though.
Did we?
Yeah, because at one point, I made it vulgar, but you were like something about Mona.
Oh, yeah.
Mona, what'd you do to the washing machine? And I was like, you left all your dildos in there. They're going all around. You can't wash them in there. So
We should pull our resources.
Okay.
Okay, the Wicked Theory stuff and WCBJ stuff, and see if we can get together enough cash to get Tony Danza on one of the shows.
Can we just make fun of you to your face
Tony,
for an
we're
hour?
calling you out. Come on, Tony.
Tony, I know
You're
you're
a New
listening.
Yorker.
I know you're listening.
Yeah.
We know you're listening.
I like the tap dance.
I like that. I like those podcasts. They're good.
My mother loves Tony Danza. She loves you, and she loves Tony Danza.
There you
So
go.
I'm beginning to wonder about your mom
There
now.
you go. Billy Danza.
Is your mom drinking your beers? No.
Wait till
No.
you tell her that I do Tony Danza. Then she's gonna be like, "Oh, that's it. He's coming over for dinner."
Does he know we got a room in the basement available?
So we got a new emailer. Who's,
We don't talk about that room anymore.
rightfully so.
He wasn't even looking at me for it to have any effect.
I know. You didn't even catch it. So anyway, we got a new emailer who's a friend via another podcast, 7 Days a Geek. He helps out those guys, and he's a really
7 Days a Geek?
7 Days a Geek. Is
Good name, right?
Right.
And so his name is Doug Lemessieur.
Oh, I can't smoke it.
Well, you can smoke in here.
No.
Eventually, halfway through, I start breaking the rules.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Don't
Are we
worry,
halfway yet?
Wow, what time is it? All right, so he wants to know for breakfast, would you rather coffee, cigarettes, and donuts, or tea, weed, and granola?
Coffee, cigarettes, donuts.
Coffee, cigarettes, donuts, or tea, weed, and granola?
I believe I answered already.
No, I know, but you're not the only one fucking here. All right? Yes! We're not on the segment. We're not on the segment that is only
That's
about
exactly
you.
what I wanted.
We should have started with that then. Anybody else?
Probably the
Can I
first.
pick
You
one?
The
people
first.
can abstain, I guess. If
The
you
first.
No.
The first.
Can I pick one from column A, one from column B?
It seems like it's either or, buddy. Trust me.
I don't
I was
drink
tough for it
coffee,
too.
and I don't like granola.
Yeah, I know. That's so.
So-
But you got to pick. So then, of those other
I'm
ones,
gonna have to abstain.
okay. Bob can't make a decision or just chooses to abstain. The court recognizes the floor to Dominic.
I have to go with the first just solely because of the donuts.
Oh yeah, that's
Donuts
true.
trump
That's
all
true.
for you?
Donuts.
Don't doesn't matter.
Really?
No.
Okay, I like that.
Any specific donut?
Yeah. What's your dream donut?
My dream donut?
No, seriously.
Donut.
Why's that funny?
Actually, you know what? It was always
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Why's that funny?
Am I close enough now?
Why is that funny? Hurry!
How does this work? This machine is complicated.
What?
Oh, now that's gonna smell.
No, it won't. I just showered.
And you also have
I didn't
multiple
shower
layers
this
on.
morning. I waited to shower before I came here because I wanted to be lily fresh.
Gent.
Not just fresh, lily
Socko.
fresh.
Lily fresh.
For the listeners, Socko put the mic in his armpit.
Yeah, there you go. See,
I like
that's-
the mystery of it, where it was just
Yeah.
like he obviously hit it somewhere.
I put it on my forehead. I put it on my
Yeah,
cheek.
how they gonna I figured they need to get the image, you know?
Man, you like to hand everybody everything, I guess. I like the mystery. You know, let them think about whether or not it's in
Who
there.
is this Mr. E? And
All right, anyway.
Ahoy!
Fucking train wreck. All right.
My favorite's glazed.
glazed.
There you go.
Thank you for remembering that there was a question.
I totally forgot. Right, I forgot that we were still in that area.
And to just have
My,
some
my favorite is glazed.
just randomly letting you know.
And then I remembered. I'm going to the Wicked Theory fridge.
All right. Grab a cold one while you're in there. It's far away, just so you know. So last one is from a regular
Barry Bostwick.
Barry, I guess you could do that.
Captain Stubing.
The question is, what's your favorite meal?
Of course, Captain Stubing would ask that.
No, of course he's your favorite
Because
meal.
after I'm done guesting here, I'm a guest on the Love Boat retroactively
Gotcha.
to 1979.
Oh shit!
So of course I want fondue.
Because that was all of the rage.
That's all they ate.
That's all. Any
Everyone in the
episode,
70s ate
every
fondue.
episode of Three's Company ends and starts with fondue.
That's why their hair looks like that.
Okay, so what's your favorite meal? But you can only eat your answer every day for the rest of your life, or never again. Which do you choose?
What? Wait, well,
Pick your favorite meal.
I'm
Okay.
afraid.
Okay, well, we'll hold that in your
I'm
head then, I guess.
scared.
And then it's like one of these hypotheticals. Now you can only eat your favorite meal either every day for the rest of your life, or never again.
What is my?
Anybody else while he's thinking?
I would have to go with pancakes, eggs, and bacon.
See,
Every
I
day.
like the breakfast.
Wow.
I have to say, I think one of the things that I really get excited for is
Breakfast?
is Brothers Pizzeria, their Sicilian slice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Might be like my favorite thing in the world.
Now,
Good.
Like to where I eat to the point where like I start seeing stars.
like the pain-inducing kind
horrible.
of binging.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your fave?
Oh God, I was gonna go with
So
like,
many choices.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have one that's like a favorite over everything else. But I guess I would have to say like a bacon egg breakfast sandwich.
No,
Yeah,
see,
that's
there you
pretty
go.
good.
See,
Extra
I'm with
bacon,
you.
a little butter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
hard
but
in the
you're
arteries.
right, man. You guys are right. See, I knew like whatever you. I'd be like, yeah, that's good.
That's, no.
Yeah, like,
there really is
I
no-
love manigot.
and
Chocolate cake for breakfast. What's wrong with that?
Gummy bears and carbon paper. Yeah.
And here's the thing.
It keeps happening over and over again in my tummy. Sorry. For all you kids, carbon paper was before the Xerox. Woo!
Before mimeograph.
Who?
This is girl I dated in
The
high
thing
school.
about that sandwich for me is I actually do eat it every day.
Well, I
Pretty much.
wasn't going to point it out. I wasn't going to point out that it was a.
See, I get egg whites now, and I realize I don't miss the yolk. I'm
no,
serious.
oh, yeah, absolutely. You
I've been
won't.
getting egg whites
Yeah.
with cheese,
Yeah.
you know, and pepper and ketchup.
all
Don't
of
miss the
that.
yolk.
Well, yeah, you're not missing anything. All of that goodness is there.
Yeah.
Just the whites. You don't need all that extra cholesterol. So now
No, you're gonna eat that every day for the rest of your life. That's what I want. It's mine. My favorite.
So yeah, I'm running out of steam
These
for this
fucking
email.
mics, man.
Really.
These new mics.
Huh?
It's these new mics, you think?
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
What's
Yeah.
the matter?
If I tried to do
The
that,
voices.
I'd probably rupture a vocal cord.
Do it. Fucking do it then. All right, you can only eat that shit now either for the rest of your life, every day, or never again.
Every day or never. I don't get. I
It's
don't.
just one of these
So,
super high.
you can
Am I
either-
stupid?
You could either only eat that.
I might be phrasing it
You
badly.
can only eat it every day.
You can
So
either
it's-
only eat that, or you can only never have that.
Ah, okay. So my choice is to only eat that or never.
Never have it again.
I'm gonna have to say never have it again because that's
Yeah, because
monotony.
I just think you would just get sick of anything.
it's like banging your head against a wall
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but that hey,
At first
the beginning
it's silly.
At first it's fun. You're like, oh,
Look at friends.
I'm getting lightheaded just thinking
What?
about it.
Oh,
Why does it keep happening? So that's from Agent Palmer. Thank you, Agent Palmer. That's the end of emails Thanks for writing in. Kids, if you
Thank
want to
you.
send
You
us
got
some
another
emails,
You have to look.
no.
He's looking at the paper. I'm talking
Nope.
about electronically.
Nah. All right. We'll put the whole show on hold.
Oh, no, don't do it.
No.
No, let's have a
Don't do
cigarette
it.
and then look.
My mouth opened and noises came out. We took a break. We're back. Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Did you miss us? So before the break, you? What's your name?
Darla.
Darla was
Darla.
telling me that there was probably another email in there, so I had to go check the
Darla
email.
Proudheart.
What are you, an Indian? Are you an American Indian now?
Yeah.
What tribe? What tribe?
I do American Indian drag, and that's,
I didn't. Whoa.
I'm Darla Proudheart.
That's probably
Hi,
controversial
how are
these
you?
days.
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
Exactly.
If there's a joke from 60 years ago, Bob knows it. I just want to let you.
Bob, you look great.
Thank you very much.
So, there was another email in there, fresh off the presses.
Told you.
And it starts out, hey all, anyone who knows Socko, and I do, knows he's a big wrestling fan. So to all of you, including the guest of honor himself, if you were to become a wrestler, what would be your wrestler name, your persona, and who would you choose to be your tag team partner, their wrestling name, and why?
Wow. I hate these. Like,
It's a long one.
who is this from?
This is from...
My wife.
Socko's
Oh,
wife.
I assumed. I had that feeling.
You had that feeling? We're building it up a little bit?
Yeah.
I'd have to keep Socko Jones.
I
That's
mean,
a
why
great-
would you
I mean,
change
you
it?
know.
Yeah, I'm not going to change.
No.
It's already a name.
It's already a persona
Does
as well.
does everyone you know call you Socko? Like even your wife, like everything?
No, my wife calls me Michael, but she refers.
His name's not even, but his
Michael.
name's not
I
even
didn't
Mike.
even- I
It's
didn't
Larry.
But there's already been a Socko in wrestling.
She refers to me when she's talking about me to other people. She refers to me
Okay.
as Socko.
Okay.
So.
Right.
My mother every so often calls me Michael, but she'll call me Socko. Pretty much everybody calls me Socko, except my kids who call me Papa and Daddy. So.
Yes.
Well, that's for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
That
they
is
start
for the
going, yo,
best.
Socko,
Oh.
I need money to go out.
Did she put an emoji in there?
She did slip in an emoji. I didn't know how to say that, so
Is it a smiley face?
it is a winky smile, I think.
Oh,
Oh, there's your wrestling name right there. Winky Smile.
That's
that's actually
oh man, is that how we're gonna do it? all right. I'll be Winky Smile, but
What's the old porn star name thing? It's like,
Oh,
your,
it depends. There's a
your
couple of them.
street name you grew up on, your,
And
your first pet's name,
Yeah.
and something else, right?
Or
Yeah.
your street name and your mom's maiden name.
There's a couple of variations on
Yeah.
it, but I think the
mine
pet
would be
somehow
JJ East 22nd Street.
that kind of works.
Or JJ Richmond.
Now you're talking. Dickman. They would probably you'd change it to Dickman if it's gonna be porno. It's always got to be something like that.
She's right, though. I am a huge wrestling
So we
fan.
know that. So now, wrestling under Socko Jones, what would your persona be? I guess basically a good guy or a heel, right? Is kind of the way to go with that.
Yeah, face or a heel. I guess I would probably go...
Or does it matter because everybody just turns
I
all
think
the time?
I'd probably want to go more with like a heel, kind of like Roddy Piper or
Yeah, they're kind of more fun.
Macho Man, where you're a heel, but people
Not an
like
asshole
you.
of a heel, but a heel that everyone can kind of like anyway.
Well, yeah,
I would want to be
A
like
heel
the
with
dickhead
charisma.
heel,
Like Triple H.
like JBL.
You know?
yeah.
I hate-
JBL.
I love JBL. I don't know why. I just
I think you're the first person I've ever heard say they love JBL.
well, it was funny though because like at the time I loved John. Like
Well-
I loved John Cena also, and like
Okay.
they were like the two like.
You're all fucked
Yeah,
up.
but yeah, dude, JBL was like given like he was like Brad. She was the second guy in a wrestling tag team for the longest time, and somewhere out of the blue, I don't know, he married somebody in the family or something. Next thing you know,
Got a
Yeah.
bump.
he's JBL and he's the champion.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
don't know much about. He's
mean-
not somebody I'm very interested in, so I don't
It's
know.
like
a lot
Al.
about
What is the
JBL.
JBL?
Remember what's his name?
stand
Al.
for? Does anybody
It was
know?
like his initials. It was like
but we're just gonna trust
for his
that
name.
JBL.
Come on, I'll give you a clue. The B is for Bradshaw. Come on, you love him.
Juicy Bradshaw love.
There we go. No, I have no clue.
I'm not even gonna say. Like, I'll let somebody else.
I don't remember. I
email
really
that
don't
in
remember.
Next
Oh,
week.
okay, all right.
I
So
do
we'll
not
put that
remember.
out there.
Yeah.
Do not remember at all.
We won't Google it. Just
Well, I'm gonna.
Trust me.
I kind of want to Google it because now I want to know. 'cause
No, I do too.
can't,
No, I do too.
I don't know why I can't remember.
But yeah, you can. My wrestling knowledge does not run as deep as JBL.
What would your name be, though?
So I don't. I don't know. he who talks too much. Maybe I don't running with the Indian theme.
Mona Danza.
Mona Danza. Dirty Danza.
Wicked
Dirty
Theory.
Danza.
Wicked Theory.
No, I feel like
That
that
could be a finishing move.
that's yes. There you go. That's my finishing
Finishing
move.
move is the Wicked Theory.
Right. That works.
That
I like
actually
it.
sounds intimidating.
It sounds like a thing. It sounds like it could be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where I just kind of like do a windmill, kick you around, knock you on the ground, and then I do like the thinker pose. And I just sit upon you.
That's actually pretty good.
You know what I mean? At the end, when you're out cold, that's how I do
I'd
my.
cheer for that.
And then the ref comes over, taps out 3 times, and then I'm like still sitting there on your back.
No, the ref doesn't tap out.
Well, you know what I mean. Taps the
Right.
mat.
He
Taps
counts
the
3
spring-loaded
times.
mat.
No,
Whatever.
well, tapping out means that the ref is giving
You're
up
right.
3 times. He's
I-
standing around you while you just beat somebody going, I give up, I give up, I give up.
I'm fucking done.
Which is even, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see that.
Right, so
The ref gives up. Your move is so good.
This is
the ref-
ridiculous.
I give up.
This is ridiculous.
This stuff must be fake.
So what's the other components
So
of
the
the
other
question?
components were what's your persona, your tag team partner, and what's their name. So if you're Socko Jones,
Oh wow, this is like homework, man. You
My,
need like time to figure out all this.
I was about to open up my notebook and start fucking taking down notes.
My persona.
well, we were kind of saying either it's a heel or
No, I'm definitely.
Face.
I would definitely be a charismatic heel.
charismatic heel. All right.
Hopefully, I can cut a good promo, and
And talk up the matches in between.
yeah,
You know, with Mean Gene. Mean Gene Auckland.
my partner. Who'll be my tag team partner?
What would be a good name?
Captain Lou Albano.
That'd be awesome. Resurrect Captain Lou.
In between doing the turtle races at Wave Street, right?
That's exactly who it would be. I would bring Captain Lou's like casket, like exhumed.
Just the casket.
Ghost.
Just have it next to me, and like tag it in every so often and stand there so I can have a moment.
Would you
that
go?
would be great.
You have to
shoot
put him in
rubber
a Super
bands?
Mario outfit, though.
Would you shoot rubber bands at people as a way to
No,
remember
yeah.
him
No,
or
I
something?
just put him in my face.
Well,
Yeah.
so I think that's. I mean, unless anybody else has got something.
You look at my way.
Well, because I just realized now we didn't come up with a name for you or really
Well,
you.
while you
but
guys have been over there talking, I just actually
you've been
had
just
time.
like slinking into the darkness.
He's got one.
Like, just don't mind me.
I actually-
Don't look my way.
I actually had time to come up with one, and actually,
All right. Well,
all right,
share with the class.
okay. To go with the whole guitar rock star
okay.
kind of theme,
Sure.
Axl Rocks. Okay,
All right.
he'd be a heel, an over the hill wannabe rock star
Okay.
with balding, with a wig
That's great.
of long hair.
Right.
That got like
Right.
pulled off every match, and he'd be like, ah,
Right.
every match, and he'd be surprised.
How did my wig come
Oh my!
off?
How did that? What I have hair?
His entrance, he would come out with a really cheap ass looking heavy metal shaped guitar,
Right.
like the one I'm holding now.
Right. That would get used against him probably. Like
Yeah, he'd be holding
gets
it up,
snapped
like,
over his back
do the
every
whole,
week.
like be total poser, dick, and
Right.
Well, that's it. Didn't Blackie Lawless? Isn't that the same? The BC
Kinda.
Rich that Blackie Lawless used?
Yeah,
From
he
Wasp?
used these. Yeah, he
Yeah.
used to use these.
I'm Billy Clueless
And,
right now.
He would like,
Me too.
just when I'm losing the match, I break out the guitar when nobody's looking to smash him in the back.
There you go.
There you go.
Finish your move. So, you got a tag team partner in this? In this band of
I
fury?
hadn't really gotten that far.
Okay.
but,
You're working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My tag team partner would. Yeah. No, we already established that.
So it's
So,
almost like my glazed donut moment.
so she's got a second question.
Oh. Did you
On
just send that?
No, it's in here. It's unrelated to wrestling.
Actually, now I'm got it first. I
Okay.
just thought of it.
Okay.
It would be my sidekick, my crappy drummer Lars.
There you go. Lars lawsuit. Lars litigious. So her second question is: which comic book character or story would you love to
Lars.
see on the big screen that hasn't been done yet? And seeing as not for nothing, but my short list on that up until like this year, like now, like it's almost like all my big
Yeah.
things are like in production right now.
It's funny. Like I would have said Jessica Jones, the whole
Right.
alias
That's what I'm
thing.
saying. Yeah.
You know, but that's happening already. Oh,
That's what I was gonna say. Like Jessica Jones or Preacher. these things.
Preacher's happening.
Yeah, I know.
Can't wait. Can't fucking wait.
I got to tell you, what would make a great film is Bill Willingham's graphic novel Proposition Player.
Okay.
I don't know if you have you read.
I'm
that?
not
No.
familiar with it. I mean,
It's
I know
one of my
his
favorite-
name, but I'm not familiar with that.
It's
work.
basically it's one of my favorites of all time. It's before he did.
He remembers
Fables.
this one, so that's how you know it's
Fables.
good.
No, I do. It's before he did Fables, and it's about a. He's a guy that in Vegas they sit down. He's kind of like a cooler.
Okay.
You ever see that movie, The Cooler?
Yeah, I
I
remember
think it
it.
was
Yeah.
William Macy, was it? And they sit him at a table to cool people off or whatever. But that doesn't even really matter because what happens is he goes out drinking with a bunch of the dealers after one night, and they are all kind of standing around at the bar, and he's notoriously cheap. Everybody knows that he's just a very cheap guy. And so one of the dealers takes a cocktail napkin and writes on the napkin, "My soul for one beer."
Okay.
And all the other dealers are like, all right, I'll take that action. And everybody starts doing it. He's like, all right, I'll buy her fucking round. I'll buy a round of beers. Buys a round of beers, goes back to his house, wakes up the next morning, and there's an angel at his door who basically says to him, do you have any idea how much trouble it is when humans start trafficking other human souls?
No, that's cool.
What
That's
are you
cool.
going to do with these people now?
Right,
And
right.
it's, they send, the angel comes from heaven. They send a demon from hell,
Right.
and they're kind of bartering. They're kind of like in his ear, like
Okay.
they want those souls.
Sure.
But what happens is, does he decide to give it to heaven? Does he
Right,
give it to hell?
right.
Does he give it to another pantheon?
Okay.
Or does he become a god himself? And it's really fun
What is this called
concept.
again?
It's called Proposition Player.
I'm gonna look it up right now
It's
because
one of the best comics I've ever read in my life. And everybody that I've recommended it to at the shop has been like, is there more? And
Right,
Willingham
right.
has stated, because this came out, I think this came out in like 2001.
Okay.
And
2003. Yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no.
No, this is it. It's a one and done.
Yeah.
Was it
absolutely
a graphic
no more.
novel or did it come out in individual issues?
It came out in individual issues originally, but now you can, of course, only get it as a trade. So,
Right.
but it's amazing.
And
You guys have that at the shop, you know?
Yeah, we try to keep it stocked all the time because I constantly hand it to people.
Who printed
and I'm
that?
surprised
Who,
that you guys.
Vertigo.
Yeah, but it's very rare that either of you guys go, "Hey, Socko, what should I read?" So.
Usually, you guys are coming out of the woodwork and jamming shit down my fucking throat.
Well, not
No.
particularly
No.
him.
Hold on, Pally.
Not
I
him.
was
Hold on,
kidding.
Pally.
I
Listen to
was
me. Hold
busting
on.
balls.
Hold on. You,
Oh wow, he put the mic up.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
got close to the mic, folks. Slow down.
You
I
have
was
on
busting-
your pull list
I was busting
all
balls.
number ones.
I was busting balls.
That's right.
You know what? I will not.
I don't want you to
I will
paint my
not-
shop in any way.
I will bust your balls.
I gotta pee.
I will bust your balls. I will bust your balls. I will not bust the shop's balls. I apologize.
Oh,
no,
man.
no. Oh, I want stuff like that thrown at me.
I think we're boring your brother because he's starting to play guitar.
Yeah, he's just like, I'll just
Not
fucking
interested
play
anymore.
music. I'll play fight music underneath you guys. Fuck it. He's like, I don't even know people can hear this shit.
I'm
but
just
gonna
gonna
play-
practice now.
Oh, well, you guys are done. Let me know.
Yeah.
I gotta rehearse.
It's crazy. What are you drinking? What is that big black drink you're drinking? What is that thing? Is that some sort of like weight gainer or
That's his new invention. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
axle grease?
It's just Diet Soda.
Huh?
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. I like that he said diet soda. He's being very diplomatic.
Right. Well, he doesn't want to.
No, yeah.
We don't have a sponsorship going
Exactly.
yet. He doesn't want to ruin it. Back catalog and all that
It'd
shit.
be great if your first sponsor was like STP. Are they even around anymore? Well, no, you guys both work you're working like an auto supply
Oh, okay.
place.
I'm like,
That's
where's he
true,
going
that's
with
true.
that? And I'm
Yeah.
like,
But does STP
Actually,
exist?
I can answer
I think
that
so,
because
yeah.
I buy auto stuff.
Oh, okay.
They
just sell.
we just swing it.
No,
You know?
Bill doesn't have a car.
In a
Bill's
way.
like,
I don't even know. I
In a
fell into the
warehouse.
job. by
I'm not
mistake.
taking work home with me.
Fuck that.
No car. I take the bus.
That's it. Start working at bus parts soon.
Bus
The
depot.
question is,
You need,
actually,
you need a Metro card reader?
There you go. There's like
They sell
shitty
it
store
at
ideas that'll
7-Eleven,
never
actually.
work. Like bus depot, but it's not a depot where the bus is like pulled
Right,
up.
right.
It's where you buy shit for the bus.
Like, I don't know. I think it's a big thing. It's going to come up soon.
Yeah,
It's
right.
going to go big. It's going to go big.
I think we got a good idea. right
Tomato
now.
haberdashery.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want a
Why
hat
not?
for my tomato.
Why not?
You may be the third person in America who wants that.
Don't
That
forget
means
the
it's a
cape.
market. It's just growing slowly.
My little tomato.
Is that your jingle?
No,
My little tomato.
well, I was doing like My Little Pony.
Got a
Wow, I'm doing a
chapeau.
lot of My Little Pony references.
Keeps coming back to
That's
that.
just because so many people in the shop are probably asking you about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
I'm
really.
starting to wonder
No?
if somebody here has a fetish. For
Stop it.
Don't
You watch
even even start that. So
How well do you
I
play
would-
fight
I
music
would've
when I'm
thought you were a
choking
Care
you?
Bear.
who's gonna play the fight music when I'm fighting you?
That's right.
So yeah, that's her. That's the end of her email. She says, "Thanks
From my
all,
wife.
folks, from Dove Jones."
I just
right.
before we
My
get off that, I
beautiful
want to
wife. Yeah.
I want to say
Oh, yeah. Chime in.
lock and key on that one.
Yeah, Lock and Key is a show. Is a
Oh,
book.
wow, that's-
Is a
yeah,
book
yeah.
that we've
It's
all
brilliant.
we've all read. We've all read here at the table that we devoured that.
Lock and Key would be great.
Oh, so
It's
great.
funny. My wife, that's her absolute favorite comic.
Oh, good,
Lock and
good.
Key.
Yeah.
one of
I mean,
mine.
Well, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a really good story.
Yeah.
It's one of
Very-
those ones. It just even Dom came off of reading Preacher, and then Lock and Key was the next long run, kind of thing that he dove into, and it's just like, nah, I don't know if Preacher's my favorite anymore. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, give it a couple of months and take a look at it
But
from
you
a
know what?
distance.
Honestly, I feel like they're interchangeable. If you were to give somebody Lock and Key and then they read Preacher, I feel like they would be like, I don't know if Lock and Key is my favorite anymore.
Right. Well, yeah,
they're
that's
both
exactly,
up there like that.
And,
Yeah.
and Preacher, for something that's, what is it, 9 volumes, I think? Well, if you
Well,
think
it's
about
like-
it,
it's
8 or
something
9
like
the
volumes.
thin trade
they're
paperbacks
doing
are
the books now.
9, but
Yeah.
the way I read them was in the books, and I
Yeah.
think there was 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah.
So.
It was originally 8 or 9.
But it gets,
Yeah,
it's
trades.
one of those books that, and it's funny, like, being in the position that I'm in, people feel like it's a sales, what is that? Is that the
That's the
Daleks?
that's the mothership calling us.
Oh.
We have to go back to the landing zone.
I feel like
That should be
people
good.
feel like you're bullshitting them when you're like, no, every single volume is better than the next.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
agree, Dom?
Yes, I agree.
Preacher?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, you had said to me that the first book is good.
You never read it?
No, I have.
Well,
But
he's-
I was speaking of
No.
He's the one who gave it to
before
me.
he
he got me into it.
No.
When Dom came to me and was like,
He's
"Yo,
the-
can we
he's
go
the
get
enabler
comics?"
at
I
the
was like,
table
"Yeah,
right
we can
now.
get comics,
Right.
but you're going to read this eventually. Eventually, I'm going to make you read this book." And eventually, when the time came, he was like, "Okay, I'll read it now."
Yeah.
And flipped over it. But what I was going to say is that he was something I remember he said to me was that the first book is really good, but it's not until you get into the second trade area that some things start to really get revealed, and then it's like, oh shit.
Right.
Okay.
And then you kind of really lock in.
That's what I was.
Right.
Like if you had any trepidation, if you can get to the second book, I'll forget it. Then you got people, the whole way through.
Dig it. So, I just thrown it out there. Desert Island Comics for you guys. Like, what are you bringing?
Desert Island.
I think we had this question already on the show.
Did you
but
really?
I think
No, I don't even know if we necessarily did about comics necessarily.
I think the two we
Posed us.
mentioned should be on the list.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Lock and Key, Preacher, definitely on the list.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how much I'm allowed to bring.
No,
Yeah.
no,
There's a wall behind you.
you're allowed to bring two.
two boxes.
Two. No.
Oh, okay. Two long boxes or two short
Two
boxes?
specific runs of a certain comic.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Then I gotta bring something long.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
take
How
all
about
600
we
issues
start
of
with
X-Men.
Superman #1 and just
Huh?
go? How about we start with Superman #1 and go from there?
Yikes.
Well, if you're gonna be on a desert island,
My condolences. Really? You want to read Superman? That's
no.
it?
But I mean, if I got to,
You want to talk to a
If that's-
volleyball and read Superman?
if that's my only form of entertainment, I don't want a book that I'm gonna read in a week. So
I think he's saying long
a
haul.
volume. If it's a long run, if
Well,
you
like
say
W-
if
for
I can get up 2
WNEW,
runs,
remember
I'll take Superman.
WNEW? They had Desert Island discs,
Right.
Where they're talking about. I mean,
Maria,
you could bring
Maria.
like one record with you on a desert island. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Okay, but you said one run. You said
Well,
2
yeah.
runs.
Well,
So
yeah, 2
Superman's
runs.
been running since 1939. So I'll
Okay.
take that one, and I don't think.
Yeah,
I'll
but
have
it
to
doesn't
be-
run. It doesn't run It doesn't. It's not up to issue 670.
I know.
something.
Only
Well,
when
yeah,
they
if
want it
you,
to.
If you have ghost numbering on it, yeah.
Exactly. But
But if you're talking like God read stuff, it would be Preacher and Lock and Key. It would definitely be up there.
I think I would have to go with. As much as I love Preacher, I don't think it would really be on there.
Okay.
Because as great as that story is, there's not a lot of there's not much more you can get out of that book. I feel like after you read it, I feel like with a book like Lock and Key, you can learn so much more about that world that that book is set in.
Yeah, I can see
so
that.
that I could read it 60,000 times,
Mhm.
and I would still
I could agree
be
with
maybe intrigued or find out something new about that world. And the second one would be New 52 Batman.
Okay.
that. I'll take Betty and Veronica Digest.
Which one?
The whole run. The whole 7,000 copies. Even the reprints.
Actually, I think there's only it might be just under 300 or just over 300
What for something
Yeah.
like that? For,
Hey man,
for
You
being
keeping track of the B&V?
you read one a day, pretty much. You got a year there.
I guess so. No, I was gonna say Preacher, but then Don makes a kind of a good point. It's like, how much rereading depth are you gonna get out of that? Maybe Lock and Key is the way to go. Lock and Key, and then I'll probably jump back into some old '90s Captain America's or something like that.
That's cool.
Something that like when I was getting it, even though like now it's probably trash, like had me hooked as a younger guy.
Yeah, but you know what
You know
happens,
what? You know
though?
what? I take all that back. Just give me the whole Peter David run on Hulk,
There you go.
and I'd be good.
There you go.
And I'd be good.
I was going to say, because a lot of times when you want to go back to the stuff that you loved as
Oh,
a kid,
yeah.
you start to reread it and you're like,
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Nostalgia is like a big.
I was a kid.
Nostalgia is like,
This was a gateway drug.
this stuff was amazing when I
Yeah.
was a kid. It's like, yeah, well, you didn't really know any better when you were a kid, so like everything was amazing.
I'm bringing the 2 volumes of Tales to Sound of Thrizzle by Michael Kupperman because it's the funniest shit I've ever read.
No,
He's
you
a
pulled it
fucking
out and
genius.
showed us some pages.
And the other book that I'm bringing, I have to... Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Walking Dead, because I have read certain parts of it over again, and I've gotten something different out of it a lot of times. I mean, there are very finite moments that happen, but yeah,
It's a good size. It's a good size run too.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck yeah. That's one of the reasons why I'm not caught up to it. 'Cause it's just way too much shit to catch up
It's like
on.
a serious commitment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Depending, But just knowing that, okay, this is something that's obviously pretty good, like, so it's like, oof, if I fall in love with this.
Walking Dead is inching out Flaming Carrot by like
Oh, for
a
you.
16th of an inch.
That's
Really?
all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Flaming Carrot
How
is
about
just
that flaming
incredible.
carrot?
Incredible.
Was that Fawcett? No. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of something else. Who did Flaming Carrot? I'm trying to remember
I'm just like, I'm enjoying letting him flail.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Why would I let you on this show? I don't even realize.
Dark Horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because that's all I was trying to remember. All right?
Yeah.
Don't fucking throw me on the bus on my own show. I got family for that.
Who'd you point at?
Just randomly in this area over here. This general vicinity. All right.
What's this? Where did this come?
This is
a
that.
shot?
That is our ashtray for me and you. I didn't use it yet, but
Oh.
I know that pretty soon I'm going to get tired of coming in and out. So I'm just going to start sitting here and smoking. All right. So that wraps up emails. That only took 47 minutes.
See, now welcome to my show. I'm sorry, I'm going to kick you off.
Okay, light them up.
I'm sorry.
Light him up.
You
Pack
put there.
it up.
You welcomed me.
Smoke them if you got them. So let's do this real quick. So last week we goofed on the Batmobile thing. Big Dom pointed this out to me that like they're starting the heat of the conversation. We were like, oh, the original Batmobile was a you threw it out there was a but we all ran with it.
You meaning your brother.
Yeah. You're good for radio. I like that. Yeah, you. And they just point as if they can
No,
see
because
me.
that would have
Right.
driven me completely insane.
No, I know.
Listening, I would have been like,
Right.
who's you?
Who's he pointing to? And why did that person not speak?
Yeah.
So we were, I don't know. It was just, I figured I'll look it up and see who it is because where it was because your dad pointed out. So it was a Lincoln Futura
Right.
concept car. And then for the old Batman 66 show. And then
There was, what's
it
his name?
bounced around.
Barris.
Yes, yes. Yeah, you're pretty good.
Right.
Did you read this before?
Well, no, that much I did know. I knew,
Okay.
and I knew it was like Ford Company, but
Yeah.
I know nothing about cars. So.
No, me neither. So
Me neither.
I'm just guessing.
Really?
So so it was overall. It looks like the thing. They spent a lot of money, but it's bouncing around here. I'm trying to remember exactly how much it cost because at one point they spent about $250,000.
What was that?
on it.
1960? What? 7?
Yeah.
Probably about $200.
Well, at one point they even point out here that
Seems legit. Seems legit.
that Barris eventually retained the ownership of the car. At that time, estimated to be worth $125,000 in 1966 dollars.
Best car he made was the Dragula.
Oh yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Love that car.
I like that one. That was pretty.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was reading it earlier, I kind of thought there was more info here, but now I don't want to read this whole fucking big thing, and I didn't mark off anything. So anyway, the vehicle fetched $4.2 million in January of 2013 at an auction.
The original?
The very original.
yes.
Yeah,
4.2
millis.
Wow.
Who owns it? Where is it?
Where can I steal it from?
It's in
Because
my-
there's a lot of I'd like the,
well, the reason it came up is because actually this guy was making custom built, Batmobiles, and he got sued by Warner Brothers recently, and the judge upheld,
not
Warner
by
Brothers.
Barris.
No.
Barris doesn't own the rights to the Batmobile.
Well, that was things.
He sold that off?
Once Warner Brothers realized that he was making them and selling them for the $90,000 each, Warner Brothers was like, whoa.
This random dude
we have
that was
copyright on that.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was some other car aficionado.
Yeah, but wasn't he doing the movie Batman cars, right? He was
doing the original 66 Batmobile.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he could do the Lambo.
Yeah,
the Lamborghini, Chris Nolan Batmobile.
The Hummer Lamborghini.
And sell them for $90,000. I don't think
they'd probably go for more, actually.
Probably go for 4 times that, to be honest with you.
But anyway, so Warner Brothers sued him, and then they won in court. Like, judges were like this. And it's like, how would you even try and fight that? There's like 16 logos for Batman on it.
Right.
Like, what are you going to say? Like, no, it's Batman. It's
I'm just amazed that Barris didn't retain any rights at all.
Well,
I mean,
I think he retained ownership of the physical car, and that was like it. You know what I mean?
And that's the one that went for 4 point something.
Right. So he
got 100% of that.
Yeah, he got paid for at that time.
Is he
got
still
paid
alive?
during the episodes?
The last time I saw him, I was watching an episode of American Pickers.
That's just what I was going to mention.
That's the last.
They bought the
that was like 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
I'm going to take your
you
word for it.
still see that episode now.
High noon in Gotham City. A deserted warehouse on the outskirts of town. And a ticking bomb spells trouble for Batman and Robin.
Holy, breaking and entering. It's Batgirl.
Quick, Batgirl. Untie us before it's too late.
It's already too late. I've worked for you a long time, and I'm paid less than Robin.
Holy discontent.
Same job, same employer means equal pay for men and women.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
It's no joke. It's the federal equal pay law.
Holy act of Congress.
Can we talk about this later?
Will Batgirl save the dynamic duo? Will she get equal pay? Tune in tomorrow or contact the Wage and Hour Division listed in your phone book under the U.S. Department of Labor.
All right, I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a shot. So we are going to try and do some periscoping, but first I'm going to fucking zoom in on Dominic. We are now.
Well, what time is it now? You told everybody 4:30
I told
or 5
everybody
o'clock.
about an hour ago. I told everybody about an hour ago we were going to do this. But
Periscope.
All right, 7 Days of Geek just joined. Hey guys, so this is Socko Jones, and then he is the guy. He's the shiz. Every Wednesday I hang out with this guy and I give him a hard time, and he gives me comic books in exchange.
I'm like staying still like it's photo.
Stay still so everyone thinks it's frozen.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, we're doing this as tin type.
Tin type.
Tin type pictures. You got to hold the pose for about 15
Periscope.
minutes.
So we're on Periscope, and a stranger, it's Grant and Jay are both watching. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. These are friends of mine from 7 Days of Geek, is another podcast, and they both jumped in the room.
Hey, guys.
Cool.
Saying what's up, and I don't know how to switch this around.
I don't know how to work this.
Is
how do I work this? This is new technology.
This is new.
In Russia, Periscope watch you. Sorry.
Thank you, Yakov Smirnov.
You're welcome.
So anyway,
glad you appreciate it.
Set this up here a little bit. I don't
know. For what? Oh, just to look at me.
Just to look at you.
Just.
Let's go look at you. And then these people can ask questions and shit anytime. So if they got questions for a guy who runs a comic shop, now would be a good time to kind of do. I don't even know what he's doing. I can't even see what he's doing.
You have a question? What?
Maybe we can warm things up with a
Talk
question
to
from
me.
Socko.
Well, absolutely we could. So, Socko.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your first comic as a kid growing up? What was the first one that got you started off?
The first comic book that I bought was Godzilla. I bought Godzilla. Godzilla was the first comic book I bought with my own money. It was 35 cents. I believe it was 1977. So I'm giving you some insight into my age. More questions.
Was it a Thursday?
If anybody throws a question,
was it raining that day?
Look at my nose. My nose is big. I got triangular nostrils. Welcome to Periscope.
Welcome to Periscope.
My mind.
Yeah.
This is cruel that you would do this to your
well,
listeners.
I thought this would go a little bit
unattractive
smoother.
guy.
I thought this would go a little smoother.
No, it's actually I think it's recording.
Okay, no, it's definitely.
See, you've only got 3. Nobody else has joined. They called their friends and they said, "Don't join.
No, don't do it. Don't go in there.
This he's been drinking and he's odd."
And he's odd. He's very odd.
Yeah.
So.
And I've got a Smurf's cock in my face.
Yeah. I guess no one's really helping out. But anyway, so.
Nobody's helping.
I guess I don't know. Maybe I fucked something up there. And we can't see if they're sending anything.
Here, let's have them look at a good-looking guy. Here you go. There's Dom. There you go. Look at Dom for a little bit.
Hi, gentlemen.
He's assuming
Dom's gonna be a stunt double.
Look, he's fine. He's fine with it.
He's perfect. He just wrestled against your beer bottle, and all of a sudden everything's good.
Just every time you talk, Socko, Dom has to open and close his mouth.
So, are there new listeners?
No.
Since Dom is looking, no.
Still with the
2.
The 2.
2.
No, there was 3.
Well, it says what?
Well, now
I don't know how to work this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Technology.
First time. This is everybody's first Periscope video. Goes like this.
So it says.
Is that what that's for?
Yeah, but it doesn't fit. Don't use that. Don't use it. It's tragic. Don't do it.
No, he's stuck with me again. This is great. You want to go to the bathroom? Let's go to the bathroom.
I'll show you something in there, kids.
There's Bill. Look at Bill.
Hey, yeah, let's tilt it down a little bit. Hey, I'm drinking. Watch out. No walking later for me.
Yeah.
Who else is in there? You got 3.
It says one more viewer. I just don't know who
Yeah, because they're watching. They don't have a Twitter account.
Can I show you guys? Hold on, I'm gonna take off my headphones, and I want to show you guys. I don't know if you'll be able to hear. Maybe Bill could talk, but I want to show you his snowman who has his own Lysol can. Hold on a second.
For some reason, this is the most amazing thing.
He's got the snowman. Can you see this? Hold on.
Socko is showing the internet the snowman that's on top of my refrigerator, and it's got its own Lysol can. Socko is amazed by this.
Than you think. Look at my hands. Look at my hands. See how small that is? I'm a very tiny man myself. So. He's good. I just give him a toy and let him run.
He's
I don't know
great.
if there's a microphone on this.
No, it is.
So I'm gonna give you back to Dom.
He's just trying to eat. What is that? Cheetos up there? He's just trying to eat some Cheetos.
He's just trying to get to the treats.
Just let him eat Cheetos in peace, man.
All right. Well, maybe this is a bust.
Well,
let me
Bob.
take this back.
Is that Bob? There's
Bob.
Hey, what's up?
That answers all your mysteries. Answers all the questions. I'll take this.
How is it a bust though? I don't understand.
No, well, I just.
Well, maybe when you said 4:35 o'clock, if you stuck to that.
Yeah. You know what? I bet you. Actually, you know what? I probably couldn't see questions because that thing was in the way, but now it's gone. So write your questions again if you had any.
I don't understand why. What?
Well, because it's got like a live chat feature. Usually what happens is that people will write stuff. It'll come up the side here. And when people actually have a show with a decent amount of followers, people will be like, oh, I want to get involved. And they'll like write questions, or they'll, be like, hey, I like you guys. And, I got 2 people and 1 mysterious third. You know what I mean?
But you know what's funny, man? You were texting me today, and you said,
how many drinks from Agent Palmer? Just 1. I'm not even done with it yet.
I don't know if he's talking about you or me.
Well, maybe you. Well, what do you want? 3?
This is 4, I think. 4.
All right, well,
my
that's a
4th
good question,
Peroni.
Palmer. Hit me again, Palmer. Come on. You're the guy who writes.
We're gonna stay quiet until Palmer hits us again.
Palmer
we're not talking until
everybody shut up. Palmer,
I'm gonna make you look at Bobby until you until you
Am I that repulsive?
No, but so anyway, that's the kind of idea with this.
maybe there's a lag.
Well, there probably is a little
thousands.
Oh, you think that's what it is? I got just so many.
We're recording in a basement right now, so
That's true.
I thought we were recording from the
Wicked Theory Laboratory.
No, the Shield helicarrier.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sure we are.
The cafeteria.
thank you, Palmer. The unknown users are on desktop, so if you're doing it from your desktop, I guess it doesn't read you or whatever.
Right.
Thanks, Palmer. Do you have anything you might want to ask a guy who owns a comic shop, or anything nerdy?
Does
to the table?
Does the infamous Agent Palmer read comics?
Palmer does read comics.
Did you say Asian Palmer?
Asian.
Agent.
Oh,
Agent.
Agent.
Like secret agent.
I will work on my enunciation.
No,
it was me. It was my.
Oh, it was
enunciation.
you. I just figured it was.
That was Dom.
If something bad's happening, it's usually my fault. I figure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So that's how that goes. Now, so imagine that, but like people asking stuff, but like plentiful.
Okay.
Like
like if it.
Agent Palmer at the back.
Like if this was happening on a good show.
Right. If it was happening on a popular show, we'd get something.
True. That's
so,
it. That's the
Palmer
word.
asks,
Popular.
who's the best underrated hero? Underrated superheroes, I guess.
Who's the best underrated superhero?
Yeah. Like personal opinion. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna say Daredevil.
Daredevil, yeah.
Daredevil's got his own TV show now, but I feel like as far as comics go, I feel like Daredevil should be moving just as many comics as Spider-Man or Batman. It's a very self-contained universe. You could read Daredevil and not really have to read much of anything else.
Right,
Palmer.
right.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Daredevil.
Good shot.
I would say the same with obviously Daredevil, but Punisher also.
Nobody asked you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to chime in. You know.
Is he underrated hero because he's not really a hero? Because he's kind of like quasi.
That's true.
Bad
That's
guy.
True. I think I just have like a crush on him.
Oh.
Oh wait, it says my answer is Rom. I agree. I love Rom.
You do.
Rom Space Knight, seriously, had the whole run, collected the whole run as a kid. Rom is coming back on IDW has picked up Rom.
Right.
So there will be another Rom comic. There's little hearts floating around.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
I think if people don't want to talk, they can just hit this little thing.
But they're green, so I guess they're smoking weed and happy.
Happy hearts.
So or they're farts. But yeah, no, Rom is coming back, but there's absolutely going to be no Space Knight stuff.
No connection to the old series.
No, not at all. So it's basically we have to see what happens. It's
right.
Just going to be Rom, but that's
so
enough
Rom,
for me. I agree. Just want to ask you, Agent Palmer. So if you know of Rom, are you aware of Red Ronin? Did you read the Godzilla comics? What about the Micronauts? Just asking. I'm trying to engage.
No, yeah. Hey, folks. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Do the work for me, man. Fuck it. Ask him questions. Start interviewing Agent Palmer.
No, I just did.
That's true.
I don't have an answer yet, though. But I really don't like looking at myself. You know.
Want me to take it away from you?
I'm a vegetarian, but I look like I've eaten too many cheeseburgers.
No.
Are you a vegetarian?
Mm-hmm.
Really? He says Micronauts, yes, but the rest not a lot.
The rest not a lot. So
yeah.
all right.
So he's familiar with it. That's probably like his era too, I guess, to a degree. He's not. He's like the same age as me. I'm not trying to say
him to look
it's
into
an old man thing, but
he should look into the original Godzilla run by Marvel because that's a better angle. Hey,
less chin.
Huh? My chin?
Less chin.
Oh, thank you. I actually had a shaving mishap today. Before coming here, like I felt like, oh no, that's a little longer than the other one, and my beard was longer, which I don't know if you remember from. And then I realized I just got to shave everything off. But no, yeah, Shield is involved in the original Godzilla run. Red Ronin. There's a ton of kaiju and or monsters that show up. Yeah,
it's all that era. All right, that's enough.
I love that face at the end. That's great.
So yeah, if anybody wants to hear more of this train wreck, on Monday, the episode goes up on Monday. You can check it out on all your usual podcast places and wickedtheory.com. Thanks for taking part in this experiment.
Anybody out there in Periscope land ever take tap dance lessons? I know it seems stupid, but if you answer, I'll have a good answer.
Silence. 2 minutes after I close this, someone will say, "Yeah, me."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna do it.
Okay.
See you kids Monday.
Thank you, Periscope.
Thank you, Periscope. Thank you, Palmer.
Periscope.
Thank you, Jay and Grant.
Thanks,
for
guys.
checking it out.
Bye.
See you later. And then this is the end of every Periscope videos where people go, "How do I turn this off? How do I?"
Everybody's looking at Bill right now, swiping.
He's
He's
playing
Fruit
furiously.
Ninja. It's
That's
Fruit
it.
Ninja Periscope.
I'll just power it out.
There you go.
There you go.
Just shut it off.
Just shut it down.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just turn off the tablet.
Just turn it off.
I was going to say for comedic effect, like put it down and lift up your foot.
And make it like I was stomping it, right? If that would have been good.
Hopefully it'll go off then.
Hopefully I don't actually stomp it.
Over.
So, okay.
Next time.
So I did have some serious questions, like interview stuff. Not serious, but you know what I mean.
Can I have another cigarette? Or?
You can have as many as you want. Can we try and
Is that all right?
Yeah.
You live here too.
Just open the window.
All right. Just what?
There's no windows. Good luck with that search.
That's all comics right there behind you, by the way.
Wait, you didn't open the window.
He spied that shit from a mile away. He was like, "Oh, boys had cheese boxes. I know what fits in those."
The best, honestly, the best for comics, like early '80s that me and my brother found were the Tropicana boxes that were 6
6
half gallons.
Yeah.
Perfect for comics. There you go. You got it right there, Minute Maid.
When I was 14,
Yeah, but the comic's facing the wrong way.
no, those are just facing out. These boxes are the last.
Those are just facing out. I love your answer.
Well, no, because if we pull the box down, the rest of them are straight. These are just stuffed in the sides.
I'm trying to reach
There you go. That's the explanation he needed.
The cord is too short. What do I do?
He's trying to make me cry.
So,
oh dear, I got.
When I was like 14, my parents owned a deli. So for the longest time, all of my
down
collection.
Wait. Hold it. By Port Richmond High School.
It's almost as if I've told you this.
That
story
was
before.
you.
Fucking jerk off.
We know a lot.
He's
about
not going
each
to
other.
remember. He's not
We've
gonna
had a lot of
That was you
conversations.
that spitting my bacon, egg, and cheese.
Every day.
Quarter drinks.
See, he does remember
Bag of
stuff.
chips,
This guy's saying he's forgetful. Or maybe he just remembers stuff about me.
I remember what I want.
That's true. It's selective. So anyway, I had plenty of these boxes laying around. So most of my collection was in those kinds of boxes for the longest time. But they're shitty boxes. They're not good for archive of anything. Mind you, like half the shit's not in bags.
But wait, quite frankly, they're cardboard boxes, which is what comic book storage boxes are. The only difference is they don't have covers that are custom made for them.
Yeah, but aren't these boxes, these white boxes, supposed to be like lower acid count in the paper? Isn't it supposed to be like a little bit better paper? I mean, these are well, sure.
I don't
they
believe
are.
that for a fucking minute.
No,
man.
I hear that too, but I just kind of figure that these boxes, these Minute Maid and Boar's Head cheese boxes.
Oh, Boar's Head cheese.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love cheese.
Wait, so
Just
every
the
time
bullshitty.
I call it vitamin C. I just honestly
Vitamin Ches.
Yeah.
So now, after you say that about the boxes, now every time he comes home with a box along with his usual Wednesday bag, you're sitting there laughing, right? I sold him a box.
It depends.
Yeah.
If I buy a long box, he's definitely laughing at me.
No, yeah, long boxes to me like
Silly. I only buy them if I have
they
to.
bow in the middle after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, my partner Tiger might get upset with me for saying long boxes are bullshit. You should just buy short boxes. They're easier to deal with. They're interchangeable.
And people will end up buying more of them.
Right. How much of the really long Legos do you really use?
Depends on what I'm building,
Everybody
but I
uses,
understand.
You know what I mean?
That's a good analogy.
The six nipple one is the one you use.
Yeah.
Is that what, I don't know if that's a Lego term.
No, it's a thing.
I'm going to get a cease and desist from Sweden.
From Sweden?
Yeah, because they're the ones who did Lego, no?
Yeah, but why are they against six nipples?
I don't know.
It's just how they are out there.
No cows.
Stay away from the cows. All right. Serious questions.
Oh, boy.
What's the rarest, most expensive comic you have ever had?
7.
Good answer. What? No.
In
So that's how it's phrased. So I'm going to say
in the shop.
I'm going to say both. I want to know about you, your personal collection, and then maybe also the shop if you're willing to share. But like, is your collection actually vast?
Mine's gone.
Because you used it probably. I always kind of
When
think
I-
if
when-
I open up a shop, I might get rid of some of this.
When we first opened the shop, I everything went in the bins.
Okay.
I told the boys who were working at the shop at the time, which was Tiger, Gore, LBJ, Waffle, go to my house, get everything. And they were like, everything? And I was like, I said, yeah, because if I started to cherry pick and say,
Oh, yeah.
no, I love this comic, no, I love,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I would end up with 7 long boxes of stuff that I loved.
Right.
So I can't remember the exact number. I think it was probably like 8,000 books.
Okay.
That something like that
Sure.
ended up in the bins. My thing was I was collecting everything Marvel.
Right.
I had gotten rid of all my DC except for select indie books. So that's what ended up in the bins. As far as what was the most expensive, I really don't remember. I had a lot of stuff from the 70s, 80s X-Men run. I had some early Avengers. I had a lot of first appearances. At the time, I'll be honest with you, it was probably Amazing Spider-Man 300.
Okay.
Just because I had speculated as a kid when it first came out, and I bought like 6 of them.
Oh, boy.
And I always immediately put my comics in a bag and board.
Right.
So they, so it's really tough to say exactly what from my collection was the most expensive, but I think And it's funny, like, if Waffle could call in right now, he'd
Right,
be like,
right, right.
no, dude, you're wrong.
Right. You can.
You know, so I'm going
Right.
to say something, and I know I'm probably fucking wrong, but it might have been, like, the first appearance of Thanos.
Okay.
Something like, we've never had anything over 4 figures.
Okay.
You know, everything's been in the hundreds,
Mm.
and I think the highest has been maybe $300.
Okay.
When I grade comics, I knock them down a bit so that they're more affordable. I don't, you know, at the shop, we don't really believe in CGC. We don't CGC stuff. We don't carry CGC books. I keep saying
That's fine.
Just I want people to be able to pick up comics in a raw in like
Right,
a raw
no,
form.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And be able to read them.
Right.
I love when I'm picking up a collection and there's a lot of reading copies, you know.
Right.
So you have, you know, so even if you have a lot of Avengers stuff from, you know, the early 70s and maybe it's $12 a pop, it's affordable for people to pick up. A lot of shops, maybe you think like, oh, you know, you got, you know, these high-end comics that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and, you know, you're going to make a lot of money. Quite frankly, to me, I make the most money off of the comics that aren't in the best shape, but people want to own because they actually want to read that actual comic that came out on that date. They call them reading copies, but yeah, I don't know. So.
Well, because you can turn that over in a sense,
Yeah.
like where if it's like, you know, if it's more affordable, it's more attainable, then like, you know, and it's a thing everybody wants. You know, if you only got 3 copies and they're all kind of priced out of most people's range, then yeah, it's going to sit there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I think that makes total sense.
Yeah,
and plus, you know, you want the store in itself to be a place where, hey, these guys are reasonable with their pricing.
Yeah.
And
I think
you know.
people that like really love comics, if there's like, you know, because there's only, you know, really few amount of shops on the island, right? There's only
there's
2 or
3.
3.
Yeah.
3. So
Yeah, well, Hypnotronic isn't exactly exciting.
No, but it is fun. It is fun in a whole different way, though.
Yeah, Ed's a great guy, you know, and I really do. I love Hypnotronic.
No,
I
know.
love JHU books. I love both of them, and I like that we all offer a different experience. You know what I mean? Which is really cool for our borough.
Yeah, that's actually a good way of putting it. Because
I mean,
well, what's cool,
Oh, that's
really,
good. I didn't really know that there was
three
like,
very
you know.
different types of comic book stores.
Well, what's cool too is that there's no, there's no turf war. There's no gang related activities going on.
With only 3
quite
on
frankly,
the island, I don't think there can
No
be.
one's shanking anybody.
I've had Ed as a guest on the WCBJ podcast talking about his shop. Me, Ed, Joy, his wife, who's a partner in the shop, and Ronnie and Nick from JHU Comics, who are the owners there. You know, we've all gone out for drinks together and talked about stuff, and you know, so to me, the more shops there are, the more healthier our industry is.
Sure, it's a good sign.
You know what I mean? If there's one shop and the island can only support one, then
that's a bad.
Fuck yeah, that's not good.
Yeah,
no, right.
You know, I mean, imagine if the island could only support one deli.
You know,
that's scary.
Oh, the fucking lines.
Yeah, people are broke.
How long I gotta wait?
Seriously though.
How long I gotta wait?
Come back Tuesday.
There's already a lot of lines, and there's 2 on every corner. So
I only need a half a pound of salami. How long is that gonna take? But so let's talk about that for a minute, because you've worked in shops before you had your own. How many years, like overall, do you have in retailing now? Because you have this shop now.
And
for
comic
8.
book retailing,
Yeah,
or
because I know that you worked at JHU, and as far as I know, that's the only one. But I know that you were there for a while.
I originally worked at Hanley's. My first stint there was in 1989.
My first tour.
Yeah. At the mall store, when there was actually a store in Staten Island Mall.
I actually remember that.
And me and
you probably yelled at me at some point.
I wasn't there very long though.
Oh, okay. Then.
I wasn't.
Neither was I.
I worked there. Part of one member of the staff that made it a lot of fun to be there was Dorkin. Evan Dorkin was on the staff, and I remember starting there, and they said, "All right, well, Mike needs a name tag," and Evan's like, "I'll make it." So he went in the back, and that old machine that used to like punch the letters, and he basically made me one, and I put it on, and people were coming and asking me a lot of questions. And it was my first day there, and I'm like, it basically said Mike, assistant manager. But it was my first day.
Great. Evan's like,
so
I have to do nothing now.
I think I literally only worked there for about 2 or 3 weeks because my dog had died, and one of the managers there, I was really tight with my dog. I mean, he changed my life. You know, I mean, anybody who's a dog owner, you know,
pets have that power.
Yeah. And he ended up passing away, and I was supposed to go on shift, and I called up, and I was like, I'm not going to make it in today. And they're like, why? And I was like, well, my dog died. And he's like, laughed at me, and he's like, all right, well, don't bother coming in anymore. And I I was like, fuck you, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a fuck.
Like, are you kidding me, man?
That's pretty scumbag.
Like, how insensitive is that?
You know.
But then I worked at Starbase Comics, which was on Port Richmond Avenue.
Okay.
They opened up a second store. I don't know where that was, but I worked there
At the second
basically
store?
for comics. I think I was
At the Port Richmond
12.
store?
Yeah, because I grew up on Port Richmond Avenue, and it was right by St. Rock's Church, not too far from Danino's Pizzeria.
Yeah, I know it very well.
And,
That's where I went for comics for years. That's all that shit behind you is from Starbase.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, Gary and
Keith.
Keith. I couldn't
Keith
remember the
and
brother's
Gary.
name. Yeah.
And I basically just worked there for comics. I had Stax Comics every week. I collected pretty much everything that came out new, and I'd work it off. And then I started working at Hanley's again in 2003, 2002. I became manager of the Staten Island store.
Woohoo!
And and then left there, started another business. And while I was involved with that business, I opened up Comic Book Jones.
Right.
With Tiger, and that's it. That
Good
was
stuff.
2007.
So we're looking at like 75 years of being in the business then, right?
Yeah,
I'm not good at math. This is
14,
an ongoing issue here on the show, but yeah.
14 years.
14 years. That was close.
Around the time
That
of the Age of
close.
Enlightenment.
What's got you hooked right now? Like, what are you reading? Because I know, like, you go around the shop. Your thing is to kind of say, okay, you know, we keep the shelves alphabetical, not by like how some shops do it by publisher and all that. So you pretty much just kind of like go around the shop A to Z, trying to hit all these books.
I think
but
that's the best way to do it.
in his situation, absolutely. Like, how else could you really try and keep on top of everything? It's a good system.
Yeah.
But like, so what's really ringing your bell these days? That even though that's your system, it's like when this comes in, I try and stop and read. I know Walking Dead. I know Walking Dead's your baby.
No, I there's stuff that I do. Like all the Marvel Secret Wars stuff, I stop, doing my alphabetical thing,
Right.
and I read whatever came in new that week. Which a lot of that stuff, I really expected because there was so much of it.
Yeah.
That a lot of it was going to be shitty.
Yeah.
But the God's honest truth is, I feel like the only ones that haven't really blown my skirt up are like X-Men 92, which ironically just got picked up as an ongoing.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's very good.
I didn't even bother reading
for
that. Really.
Extinction, Years of Future Past. A lot of that stuff, though, in its defense, is stuff that I stopped reading comics in the 90s.
Right.
Because I just couldn't stand it. I thought it sucked. I thought it was all gimmicky. It was about covers. I thought it was about,
Well, you're not wrong.
A lot of it was about the artists, and the writers weren't that great.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not that the writers weren't that great. It's that maybe the publishers were more focused on what the artists were doing.
Absolutely.
So
that whole
I don't
era
know.
doesn't
I
seem
don't
to
know.
have.
I don't know what was going on with editorial at that
Right.
time. But I just didn't feel like it was that good.
Yeah.
So I had stopped working in shops. I had stopped collecting. I was done. That's when I started DJing, and
Right.
But the vast majority of the Secret Wars stuff, I honestly feel is great.
Right,
the
right.
Hulk stuff has been great. I feel like Future Imperfect has been great.
Yes.
Planet Hulk has been great. Weird World is amazing.
Right. I kind of gave up on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it?
Probably didn't give it enough a chance. Don't be.
Squadron Sinister, incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
That got picked up for a ongoing also, right?
so good. Yeah. But I think it's going to be Squadron Supreme.
Oh yeah, right.
But that was great. Weird World. Why'd you get? Did you read one issue?
It
and
was
give
too
up?
weird.
Did you read one issue and give up?
No. I did read 2 and give up.
Do you know who Chris Starr is?
Yeah. I know who all these characters. I know the world that they're dipping into. So it's not like I don't have some familiarity with it, and I really appreciate it. I really like the art style, but it was coming down to a thing where it's like, I pick up a lot of books, and I'm always on the cusp of like I gotta cut some trim. I gotta cut and trim.
Your listeners by saying you gave up on it. If it's a monetary issue,
okay, that's fair enough.
It's not that it's not a good book.
All right, I'll caveat that.
Right?
I'll caveat that.
Okay.
All right, the book didn't wow me enough. Ultimately, me personally, to stay in my tight pile.
The thing is that people don't know what Bill reads. Bill gets every number one. So now he's getting a lot of Image stuff that the vast majority of Marvel and DC readers do not read.
Right.
Image, I'm sorry. The product they put out is vastly superior to a lot of the Marvel and DC stuff.
It's a whole different world. It's a whole different world.
A lot of the Dark Horse stuff that's being put out is vastly superior, especially if you read the first 1 or 2 issues and it's like, gee, if I got to cut something, am I cutting Plutona? Am I cutting Chrononauts?
Yeah.
Over Weird World? Yeah, I'm going to read Chrononauts.
And that's exactly what it is for me. Anyways, I mean, I really can't speak for him, but that's exactly what it is.
Don't you fucking dare do that.
It's exactly what it is for me.
No, but you're absolutely right. It comes down to a thing where it's like, obviously, and you pointed this out, and I picked it up from you, Socko, on your show, where it's like, you saying that you go by a rule of thumb or loose rule that, by issue 3 or 4, if I'm not feeling something, then it's probably time to jump out. And it's a fair point.
Third issue or the first story arc.
And it's a fair point because, not a lot of things, for issue 1 through 3 are usually kind of a setup kind of a deal.
It depends, though.
It depends, and that's the thing. A lot of times, the setup could all be in issue 1 and the hook. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's actually placed in issue 3 or 4 so that, if you have a longer read later on in collected form, it feels a little different. So now, we can say that, the book, just wasn't speaking to me enough that it stayed on my list. But, do you find that, a book like that has a hard time finding an audience anyway? Because it's, it doesn't have a big known, name on the front.
Well, yeah, it's not Spider-Man's Weird World.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
World. Archon is the main character.
It's like, who?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of that
but
shit.
That's see, that's to me is a big problem with comics is that the cover price has become such for, you're looking at $3.99. Marvel, for a lot of their number ones that are coming out this Wednesday, are $4.99.
Right.
Will they be $4.99 by issue 2? I have no idea. I have no insight into
Dude,
that. I won't know until I get my invoice.
I was looking at this this past week. I was looking at the list for next week, and it's like, I added up all the whole total because there was just so many books that I had from my pull list. It came out to almost $90.
Could you imagine if you shopped at another store?
No.
Where you don't get 10%
exactly.
off on Wednesday?
Exactly.
And you don't get
exactly.
10% off.
The first thing he said.
Issue 1. I'm
exactly.
sorry, shameless plug, but it's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the reasons that we do at our shop is because we love comics. We want people to be able to read the comics that they want to read. So people who come every Wednesday and really love comics, we want to reward them by giving them 10% off everything in the store every Wednesday. And issue 1s, I mean, there's so many comics that just don't get a chance because much like you're saying,
price point.
You got a price point, and I'm gonna get this. There's a new number 1. I'm not gonna get it. There's, you have me, Tiger, Waffle, Babyface at the shop. We do our best to read all the number 1s that come in every week, and we do a lot of hand selling, and just talking about the books that we enjoy that week. And it's tough to get somebody to pick something up because of the price point.
Right.
So 20% off helps.
Absolutely.
It helps people pick stuff up. But I feel you. Without a doubt.
It's like you said, the prices have changed now to a point where it's finally caught up with a point where it's not like
it's
you can't
up that the prices though don't go up by 25-cent increments or 10-cent increments.
Right.
Immediately it's $1.
Right.
There were a couple books on my pull list that were Invincible Iron Man's coming out this week. Amazing Spider-Man #1. Those books were $5.99.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. The book might be amazing and it might be a quadruple-sized issue, But still, at the end of the day, it's a $6
The God's
book.
honest truth is a lot of speculation is back in comics. There's actually a website now called comicspeculator.com.
I've seen it.
So
What is that?
these guys know that people are going to pick up number ones.
Yeah. So they just try and like lead you
But
down
they
the
don't
hot
pick up
book
number
direction.
2.
Yeah.
Or they don't pick up number 3. So let's blow our load.
No, well, you're right, because there's no way in hell I'm not picking up the, new number 1 for Spider-Man or Iron Man. So,
Yeah.
So I
Well,
guess
that's the thing,
I
too.
guess that's the point.
There's going to be a couple of books probably for like, a lot of people where it's going to be like, well, I know I'm probably not going to want this anyway, but I'm going to pick up the number 1.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to be doing that too. But I also know that I'm like, soft. You know what I mean? Like I'll get that number 1 and I'll usually give it a shot to like at least 2 or 3. But you can't count for it all. Like it's just too much, and I want it all, and I can't afford it all, motherfucker.
But that's the thing. I mean, also,
And that's
at the shop, which either I know you guys are aware of it, but it's something that we offer there. Is there's a lounge,
Right.
There's chairs.
Yeah.
Sit down, read something,
Right.
make an informed decision. Decide if you want to buy it, and then buy it. You're allowed to read whatever you want, cover to cover, aside from, obviously vintage back issues. Anything else in the store, you could sit down and read.
Yeah.
And that's why when I set up the store, that's how I set it up.
Right.
Sit down, read it. Comics aren't going to get any cheaper. They're never going to lower the fucking price.
Right. No, yeah.
That's one of the things that I always mention to Bill too, though. That like I wish I had more time on my hands to
do that, to actually do that.
like abuse that. You know what I mean? Like
it's the only shop that I've ever heard that does that actually has a lounge, and the rule is like you can sit down and just read
Read
shit.
what you want.
Yeah.
It's one book at a time.
Yeah.
You can't take a stack with you to
Right.
the lounge
Right.
because I may have to sell something to somebody
No,
else.
that's fair
Absolutely.
enough.
Yeah.
So
That's
just
fair.
respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But take what you want, and sit down, read it, treat it with respect, and then, make an informed decision. And what ends up happening, too, as far as from a sales point of view, is there are times where you have 4 or 5 people in a lounge. Somebody's reading this. Somebody's reading that. They may not know each other that well. Hey, what are you reading? What are you reading? You never read it? Really? And they go and they end up
Right.
picking it up.
Right.
And, so I'm not going to lie and say that it doesn't equate to money in my pocket in some way. It does.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
More often than not,
no, but it's a very
people are just reading stuff.
It's a very
splitting,
positive
but-
way, and
Yeah.
it's stuff like that that's important because back when I was a kid, if I went into when I went into the store and on the rack, it was like the little neighborhood luncheonette, and on the rack it was 20 cents, and then the next week
Bob's
the price
old.
went up. It went up a quarter. It was like it was not a quarter, like a nickel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it was like pricing was in line with newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now it's all about the bottom line.
Yeah.
And it's said that you guys are grown men and talking about not being able to afford to buy comics in a medium that was originally geared towards kids and making sure they could afford it.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
that was
a good- I
the
mean,
thing,
it's-
too.
yeah, it's-
You know?
Well, the industry's changed along with that. Like, at a certain point, like they stopped caring about a lot of that kind of stuff to a degree. I mean, they make books for kids, but the kids aren't really like factored into the price point anymore.
You go into like our shop. You go into most shops, and in my shop, if you were to take the 1,450 square feet into consideration, and how much square footage is dedicated to kids, you're looking at about 50 of that 1,450
Right.
square foot. I have an all ages section, a kid section, but that's really not what comes in the store. But also you have to take into account, you look at the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even the early 90s. People weren't as fucking crazy about being on their kids' back about going out on their own. I grew up in the 80s.
Right.
I could run to Star-Based Comics,
Yeah.
which was probably in mileage sense, maybe a quarter of a mile from my house. At
Right.
10 years old, 9 years old, I could go and walk there. It's not that anything has changed
It's
that
crazy.
much.
It's crazy.
It's
The
just
parents
that people
that
are
the leash-
all over their fucking kids now. Their
Right.
parents are fucking lazier. Nobody walks anywhere anymore. I mean, I digress. But
you're right,
what
though.
I'm saying is, kids don't go anywhere on their own, and one of their destinations would have been, Paul Sweet Shop or
Right.
The baseball
to go,
card store,
right? To
comic
go
book
and get
shop.
your stuff or ride your bike there and then split.
Who's got bikes anymore?
I
No,
I don't
'cause
see
mom and
bikes.
kids
My
riding
children
Mom and
don't
dad
know
drive
what
them
that is.
everywhere. They have everything.
Yeah.
Everything
Well,
that they
that's
do
exactly
is planned.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's all
no more of us are
micromanaged.
like, all right, what are we going to do today? I don't know. Grab your baseball glove. Let's just go run around and figure it out. We'll see what's out.
I mean, the thing I
And
hate.
then you end up with.
What drives me crazy when I see hand sanitizer hanging off of a kid's backpack.
Yeah.
Really.
But I mean, who needs a bike when?
I'm with George Carlin. We all need a little dirt. We all need the
supposed to.
germs so
Right.
that our body learns how to fight off fucking germs.
They say that shit's a problem.
And people just coddle their kids too fucking much now, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's the absolute truth. All right, so Tom had a question.
Yeah. So, back to what we were talking about before about how this upcoming week is, huge week in terms of like how many books are actually coming out. I saw before Bleeding Cool had an article about how it's the biggest week of the year. And I was just wondering, like how that affects you guys, like at the shop, like with ordering books and then like actually when you get the books, getting them on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like it's
ordering. I have to say, I mean, and it's funny. A lot of people always come up to us and say, "Hey, I want to open a shop. What advice do you have for me?" And the first thing is you have to really hate money, because you don't really make any money. But you have to order 3 months in advance, you know, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Right.
So you have to.
I figured because of like I've read the
solicitations,
solicitations,
the previous one.
and,
Yeah.
I figured.
And you do have FOCs, which are final order cutoffs.
Okay.
That, depending on the book, they're a month before. Sometimes they're a few weeks before. But
it's a lot of guesswork.
Luckily for us, I mean, we do use a point of sale system, so we could see how many we've sold of a series. We could look at the history. We have a lot of pull lists. I think we have something like 450 pull lists in the store. So it's 450 people who subscribe with us. So we're lucky like that, but still at the same time, it's tough, especially. DC has a lot of returnable stuff. IDW does some returns. Image does some. Marvel does like pretty much none. You have to hit a certain number to be able to have certain books be returnable. But a lot of times, because we're on the East Coast, because we're in New York,
right?
Basically, I mean, the thing that I try to explain to a lot of people is, sometimes the difference between DC and Marvel in New York is, we don't live in Metropolis. We don't live in Gotham. The Marvel characters actually take place in New York. So a lot of people in New York, Marvel usually outsells DC in New York. But it's very nerve-wracking. There's a lot of conversation that goes on between all of us at the shop as to what we should order. Sometimes we have very differing views on how many we think we should, but there's certain books you can almost over order on and know that they're going to go. Like, anytime there's a Spider-Man #1, you're kind of safe, but it's stuff like, say, like DC puts out I don't know, like recently, Martian
Cyborg,
Manhunter or Cyborg #1. If they're not returnable, you got to guess.
Right.
And there's a lot of attrition. There's a lot of people who had pull lists 3 months before, and then all of a sudden they're not at your store anymore. But then you have gained other people who want that book. You're constantly juggling, and some people who don't understand may be like, oh, just order more. It's like, yeah, but if I order more, then I'm stuck with them.
It's like investing in stocks, pretty much. It's like
absolutely is. It's
a lot
all
of
about
guesswork,
trends.
and then it's the problem is, to a degree, other than stocks, is that you like you said, you get left with stuff.
Yeah,
that's like it's cool that I have it on hand if someone's looking for it a year from now, but in the end, it's it's stuff that's taking up room.
Yeah, but you don't want to be stuck with.
Well, 2 cases,
6 or 7.
Right. Well, yeah.
Right. Whatever.
Right. Well,
yeah, I mean, if you, a lot of people, they have this belief that, yeah, but it's a comic book store. Comics go up in value. No, quite frankly, 90 to 95% of the comics that come out do not go up in value.
Right.
You know, and I've got to discount them. I've got to put them in a dollar bin, you know, and other retailers have to do the same thing. So you've got to be really careful with it. You know, the trench that a lot of other retailers fall into that doesn't affect us as much is retailers who are ordering because they make a lot of their money off of variants because they mark them up when they first come out. We don't mark up variants because a lot of times they cost us either the same as the issues. Because we're ordering 200, we're able to order, say, 8 of this, you know, Batman variant. And it costs us the same amount as the other books.
Right.
And that was one thing when we started the store was, look, I'm not going to price gouge.
Right.
I'm not going to mark up shit for people who really want it. And we don't do that.
It's cool because you guys
But there's
get it,
people
you
who
know
will
what I mean?
order
Like,
a lot more so that they can get 20 of those variants and hopefully sell them for $75 a piece in the first 2 weeks.
Right. And they'll make out overall.
But they don't.
But they think that they're going to.
Right.
That's why they do it is what I'm
They're
saying.
really shooting, you know, it's a risk,
Right.
you know.
Right.
That
So-
I don't want to take.
It's a really serious question. What do you think Dr. Doom's favorite band is?
Oh, I'm Dr. Doom's fan. I'm going to say Devo.
I could say it.
Yeah.
I can see that. I was kind of thinking more like Motley Crue.
No. No.
He's an 80s, 90s hair metal
The
band.
egos are too big in Motley Crue, and I don't think he can appreciate that.
No.
He's-
Well,
I
so
think he even
maybe
wants
he'd be
to-
in
more
his
into
new
this
world,
He
no one could have
wants
that.
to have the bigger ego.
Well, actually, you know, he's in Europe in the mountains. Maybe ABBA is more his style.
Maybe.
You know, Europe in the mountains, you got a point there. He might actually just be into some black metal. Some real.
Yeah. I think he's into a lot of Wagner, you know. Yeah.
He likes Chopin.
Yeah.
He likes the classics.
I think he's a classical guy, but
Actually, that's probably what he is into.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. This will sidetrack it for a little bit because I saw you mention this online, but mob wives shot at the store recently or something?
Yeah, Mob Wives shot at the shop yesterday.
Did any interesting things happen around
Well, why
that?
did that happen, first off?
Did they warn you?
Really?
No, yeah. I mean, the warning was literally a few hours before.
Because they couldn't do it further down Forest Avenue because they shut her down?
I got a call yesterday morning. I was alone in the shop. Tiger had taken the day, so I was alone until 1 o'clock, and we get a lot of phone calls that are just bullshit solicitors.
Oh, yeah. It's a
I was
business.
dealing with like 3 customers on my own, and I had seen a 212 number that ended in 20, so I'm figuring this is solicitation.
Yeah.
So
Somebody
I
trying
could
to sell
ignore
something.
this while I help the customer. And then I just said, you know what, let me grab it. I answered it, and it was this woman, Ann, from VH1, asking if are we okay with people shooting in the shop. And I said, well, we've done a lot of that for, you know, a lot of indie people. You know, we've shooting at the shop going on. And she had said that there was a character on Mob Wives who had a comic book written about her. It was Marissa Jade, for anybody who's listening who, you know, knows who that is. But I haven't read the comic. The guy, I can't remember his name, the creator who was there, who did the comic about her. Apparently it got optioned for a film. I think it's Destiny Queen of Thieves is the name of it.
Okay.
Haven't read the comic. She's going to come back and do
Isn't that a video game?
at the store.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, so that happened
Well, that's
yesterday.
cool, though.
But
That's cool.
All right, cool. Cool.
But they didn't have to shut down the store. It wasn't one of these type of situations.
No,
where
that
they're
was
like,
a really cool
"Oh."
thing about it was that
It was gonna be in and out.
The woman who called said, you know, we don't want to stop your business. We prefer that business continues.
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
so because if obviously if they were going to shut down business, I would say, okay, well, how much? How
Well,
much
that's
you
the
paying me?
Well, I know that's the usual thing if they shut
Which
down.
yesterday
They
being the
wanna
rainy
shut
day
you-
it was, I almost hoped that it was so that I could calculate, well, between the hours of, you know, this and this,
I usually generate this
I
much.
usually make about $18,000.
I don't know about
know,
you.
So, yeah.
But we do.
Yeah. So I think it's season 6, and yeah,
Look for that.
for the store. Yeah.
Look for that. To round out some of these questions I had here, I'm going to skip some of this stuff because I think you hit some of it. Really. But what's a book that surprised you guys like throughout the store during the last year that like like he's just done a whole lot better than anybody really kind of expected. Like
Airboy, which I'm not being a dick when I say that we should, me and Tiger discussed it and I was like, let's get a bunch of it. And we did, but it still outdid what I thought it would do. So I think Airboy is a big one.
Like big surprises.
Well, that was a big surprise for me when I read it.
Yeah.
Bill got it like stuffed in his bag, and he was like, "Hey, you want to try and read this? I sat down and read it, and I was like, yeah, you got to read this.
I was a huge fan though in the '80s of Airboy. When Chuck
right.
Dixon was doing it and whatnot. I loved Airboy. So I saw Airboy, I saw Image, and I was like, wow. And then I read the synopsis, and I was like, this is gonna fucking be great. And,
it really is.
And yeah,
hasn't come out in a while though. I feel like it's been.
But that's what happens with anything good,
Yeah. No, you're right.
They hit these spots. Well, the same thing with Same thing.
Well, maybe it's an issue of them saying, okay, you know what? Give me a couple issues of this. Let's try it out. And if it starts looking like it's going to do well, you'll jump back on it and start.
I mean, that's a possibility. But usually with Image,
there's a certain.
They usually go all in right away.
There's a certain amount of commitment and a certain amount of issues have to be like in the can done before they make that commitment. So,
I mean, you like to think that.
Well, that's the way people paint the picture sometimes, anyway. But then you get a book like, once they start really rolling too, it's like, we had 6 issues in the can, but now we're catching up to that.
Yeah.
So it's like all of a sudden it's like certain books actually take a break now between arcs to try and build up that amount of time. Like Saga does that, Southern Bastards does that, but now Southern Bastards, I feel like. Is it just that we're waiting for it with being in breath every month, this week, or is it that like it was behind on the last? I mean, you may not even know off the top of your head, but
I'm not gonna. I'll never lie to you. I really don't know off the top of my head. I haven't read Southern Bastards, to be honest.
I feel books I'm obsessed about. I feel like they're always running late.
No,
but I think it's just because I'm chomping at the bit to read the next one.
That's a definite.
That's definitely part of it.
That's definitely a must read.
So and I will as soon as I get to S. Right now I'm in I.
As he rubs
got
his eye.
caught up as much as I could on Iron Man from 2011. That's how far behind I am. Haven't even read Superior Iron Man.
You could have skipped
read the first 2 issues.
You don't have to read Superior Iron Man. Don't bother.
See, the reason that I continue to do it is because people will ask about, hey, are there comics about this, or is there this something that happened in a comic, and
you want to be
because I read it all, I'm able to say, wait, give me like 5 minutes because I gotta like take a shit and think about it.
But you want to be knowledgeable. You want to, you want to be the go-to guy.
Well, I mean,
you have
to me, that's the most important thing at a comic book store. I never understood walking into a shop, which happened in the 90s when everybody was speculating a lot.
And everybody was opening.
And you'd ask the owner of the shop, well, hey, was the death of Superman any good? No, I don't know. I don't fucking read comics. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Why am I in your store if you don't care about the product that you're selling?
Yeah.
You're obviously just trying to cash in on me.
Yeah.
So fuck that shit.
But there was a lot of bullshit back in those days.
Yeah.
There was a lot of bullshit.
Still goes on every so often.
Oh, no, sure. And I'm sure, probably outside.
Sorry, I only read this. Oh,
yeah, well, exactly. I'm not into that's not for me.
Bully for you.
And instead of trying
if I was reading that, then you'd make some money, but I don't.
Well, here's the thing, too. It's like you could be that person who doesn't read other shit, but doesn't mean you got to be so kind of like standoffish about it, too. Like, hey, man, that's not for me.
But honestly,
I'm into this stuff.
But honestly, I mean,
that's
in your jobs, if you don't know about the product you're selling, are you gonna? You know what I mean? Are you gonna be?
My
able to
job
move
does
it?
not apply to this kind of.
But
normal
I'm
thinking.
just saying. I mean,
No, you're right though. For most jobs, but
you
for
gotta
ours
know what
particularly,
you're fucking doing. You gotta know what you do.
I can dodge that shit.
You can't
in my
stand
job.
there like an asshole and just like pass it off on the fucking next guy.
Well, I don't even know what else you would stand.
But honestly, the people who want to need something or want to buy something, sniff that shit out, and I'm not coming back to you.
Well, that's exactly it.
If the workers are just fucking phoning it in and don't really want to be there, then that's a place I don't want to have to come to.
No.
But with comics, week after week, do I want to come here week after week if you don't give a shit, if you don't read the stuff, if I can't discuss it with you, if I'm a lawyer and my wife doesn't read comics and my circle of friends don't read comics, and this is the only place that I can talk about it and ask a question, am I going to continue to come here?
This is what my brother Dave was talking about when he was talking about baseball
You have
cards.
another brother?
Bro, I got 3 of them.
Cheese and crackers.
My poor parents. So, literally, no. But my brother Dave was talking about because he's into baseball cards. So he was really kind of like let down when one of these shops closed, and he was like, it was more for like the social.
Yeah.
Thing. He's like, I go buy my packs, but then you want to linger around, you want to bullshit about it, you want to kick it, and it's like, granted at that place, I think the guy wasn't that bad. He was a little shiesty too, but it was about that.
Yeah.
As much as anything else.
Absolutely.
It was about being able to.
Bill, when you come in the shop, how long do you spend there? I could tell you.
Yeah.
How long do you think you spend in my shop?
I spend probably an hour in there.
No.
At least.
You spend about an hour and a half.
I'm so off.
No, but seriously. But dude, that's
but that's a good point. Like,
honestly,
I don't really realize the time. It's a vortex.
I know you're making a joke out of it, but when you think about spending time at a retail shop, a half hour is a big fucking difference.
Oh well,
it really is.
No. Trust me. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Because, I'm on the other side.
I mean, do you do that at the shoe store? Do you do that at the deli?
Most businesses.
Nowhere else you do that.
Yeah, most businesses, if you're there for an hour and a half, the security guard is following you.
Yeah,
right.
Well, because you probably are up to something.
One of our taglines when we opened was, we encourage loitering. Hang out. We want you here.
No, sure.
And see, people like you and Dom,
Not
I want
so
that.
bad. Right.
Trust me, there's a lot of people who hang out there for 6 fucking hours.
Let's talk about
and
them.
it's like, can you please leave so that
dude,
Dom
don't you
has
have-
room,
like,
or
don't you-
Bill has room to fucking hang out, like people we like,
No, what I think is cool about your shop is that when I've gone to pick him up a couple of times, I've seen the same guy and his son every Wednesday. A little 5-year-old blonde kid and a big tall dude. And every Wednesday, like clockwork, and that kid's got his comic, and he's loving it, just holding on to that, ready to bring it up to the counter.
Yeah.
That is like,
and that's a really cool thing about your store.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
actually have to, I forget sometimes that there's kids in the other store. And I walk in.
There's not a lot,
I just
though.
want to walk in sometimes and be like, fuck this fucking place, just to bust balls.
No,
and I'm
yes.
like, I got to look around.
Well, it's an environment
shelves.
that promotes comics, and you got a
yeah.
guy who's into comics. He brings his son in, and now his little 5-6-year-old son is now getting into comics.
Well, what's funny
and he's
too
doing
is
it at CBJ.
I know 3 guys like that in my head. I don't know them by name, but I know them from being regulars, from seeing them there.
I probably
and it's
know
actually,
exactly what you're talking about.
The age goes up where it's the same thing. It's a kid and his dad, and then I think the oldest I've seen, and he's probably about 14, I guess I want to say. But they're like, it's like a father-son thing to do on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the Walmart commercial with the Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're running right now.
No, it's definitely a bonding experience. And you see that throughout the week, not just on Wednesdays.
Sure.
There's people who have their quote-unquote dates, with their kids to come into the store and pick up their stuff, which is awesome, but I love that aspect. And, I see a lot of shops now, too, who are, we cater to kids. Or we, there's a part of me that feels like that's kind of a mistake. Like, we're not, as an industry, we're not where you can pick a certain type or genre
and just
stick to it and really make any money. And a lot of people who I see who are doing that right now, and I have a specific place in mind, but I don't want to mention them because they are friends, but also I don't see the staying power in that, but I know that their bread is buttered in another area.
Right,
and this
right.
is,
They're
this
able
is something
to
that
offset,
they
maybe.
love and they're passionate about. But I mean, when you have 3 kids like I do and a family, and a lot of things to pay for, you realize that if you really want to make any money at this, you can't be that selective.
Yeah.
And that'd be great if you could.
Sure.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to walk down the street and it's like, well, let me go into the children's comic store. Let me go into the adult comic. Let me go into the indie comic store. Let me go into the Big 2 comic store. Let me go to the toy store,
Yeah, it's not that kind of industry.
What may be going on in this instance, since this seems to be a specific situation, is that maybe the area helps dictate the way you mold your business.
Of course it is.
So,
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, that goes without saying.
So,
quite frankly, if you're a shoe store or if you're whatever the fuck
so
you are, if
maybe
you're a deli,
maybe it's just
if
the
nobody's buying bacon,
demographic
you're not
in the
going to carry
neighborhood.
bacon at the deli.
Right,
and that's
right.
exactly how the shop works. And the problem with a lot of comic book stores is that a lot of them will order, especially in the beginning, what they think is cool.
Right. It ends
And
up
they
being
have
built,
no idea who their clientele is.
They end up building it to their personal taste.
Right.
And
it's like, oh my God, there's a 3-foot 12th Doctor statue from Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I
know
had
what's
it's
going
$3,000. I would love this. Let me get 2.
It's like
And
and
then-
shit's still sitting there.
Right.
You know?
And wholesale, you're out
Yeah.
$3,000.
Yeah,
Well, it's got to be a thing too, where like for any, as opposed to certain other businesses, like that initial startup, like wow, like trying to gauge that
This is-
before you
it
have
was
that.
huge. It
Yeah,
was
it's got to
huge.
be a monster. Like,
And that's the thing.
handful.
Like a lot of people, like, well, a comic book store, I could start that up, and people have come and talked to me and say, well, I want to open a store, and and I'll give them a figure, and they're like, really? And I'm like, well, do you have
inventory?
Do you have 5 copies of Preacher Book 1,
Right.
and 5 copies of Saga Volume
Right.
1, and 5, and all
And
these
copies
things
of the
cost
next
money.
2 or 3,
And
so they.
what
you
about
got
your
something?
fixtures? What about your initial order
Yeah.
for that week? What week are you opening up at?
Yeah.
What trades do you have to offer? What toys do you have to offer? Do you have back?
Right.
I mean,
You gotta have the stuff on
that
shelves.
initial stock. I mean,
Yeah.
you're.
That upfront stuff has got to be through the roof.
I mean, I don't even know if I've ever said this on our podcast, but I think it was 2 years before I took home a paycheck. I did not. I took home nothing, and I had to write a paycheck because, the store is owned by a corporation
Sure.
that
Right.
me and Tiger own, and I had to write those checks. But I think there's probably a fat stack of checks in one of our drawers in the office
they're
that
just not cashed.
yeah, and to think that you can, to think that you can open any kind of retail store and think that right away you're going to make money.
Those first 2 years are always a
and
loss.
that you're, to roll the mortgage on something like this it's completely insane.
Yeah.
And you may do incredibly. You may have a great following, but the problem is you've got that, few hundreds of thousands of dollar nut that you got to make back.
Yeah.
And if you got kids that are close to going to college, you're fucking dead, man.
Yeah.
It's not like another store where you might put something on a shelf and it takes up considerable space. You're talking about something that you can put 30 of in a row and it only take up about a 1 foot by 3 foot space.
Right, and your return.
And then you got to fill up a 1,400 square foot store.
Yeah, and your
at
return,
$4
your
or
return
$5
on that
an issue.
item is $1.25.
Yeah. No, you're
How many
right.
of those you got to sell? I mean, so and I think that's what happened to a lot of people in the 90s, and I think that is something that I kind of feel is going to happen now with the popularity of comic books, the proliferation in film, on TV, and everywhere else. And I think a lot of people are going to look to cash in, but if you're not, if you don't have the passion, if you're not willing to fucking,
Well, hopefully this
suck
time
dick.
around that the publishers aren't going to shoot themselves in the foot by over publishing everything.
You know what though?
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, it's different now. They learned that lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it. What they're doing now is they're doing number ones, but they're calling them starts of story arcs. And you have one publisher trying to keep up with one that's doing, miles and miles better.
Right.
Which True Blue fans are the only people suffering right now. Are people who really love DC.
No, it's the truth.
To
It's
be
the truth.
frank.
DC doesn't, DC shakes it up too often. They get too nervous, it seems. They shake it up too much. And it's like they just managed to get everybody to cool out and chill and get used to shit. And it's like, nah, we got to shake it up. We got to shake it up.
They've got a madman at the helm right now. And there's Warner Brothers wants money.
It's the problem of being, and I'm sure Marvel will also slowly suffer from it too. But it is the giant machine thing where it's like, the bottom line has got to be bigger every year. It's got to be bigger every year.
Marvel's in a catbird seat though right now as far as film goes. It's a lot of money. There's a lot more, for lack of a better term, lay people who recognize.
Well, that's the thing.
Ancillary Marvel character. I mean, the crazy thing is, people fucking know and identify with Ant-Man now.
Yeah.
Does anybody
Well, that's what I'm
know
trying
and
to get
identify with Black Lightning? You know what I'm
no,
saying?
But here's the thing I'm trying to get at is that, Marvel, like you said, they've gotten lucky where they got picked up by Disney, which is like, granted, it's a giant film and company too, but for whatever reason, Disney and whatever, the ladder is of, approval and all this kind of stuff, or whoever, the edicts that come down don't seem to really tie their hands.
Well, because Disney
versus whatever edicts come down from Warner Brothers to DC, it's like they just don't know how to do it, and I think it's that the big companies up top are very, very different in how they respect the creative process.
You gotta look at Disney's history. Disney picks up you've almost got to look at them as a very, very smart businessman. Disney acquires commodities that are working and does not fuck with them.
Right.
Disney picked up Marvel, and everybody, and it's funny. It happened very early into owning the shop, and all the negative Nellies were like, "Oh fuck, blah blah blah," and all the positive guys were like, "Hey, this could be cool."
Yeah.
Disney basically picked up Marvel and said, "Hey, if it ain't broke, we're not going to fix it. We're acquiring something that is going well, that we feel that we see a future with through the movies,
that fills a gap in
and
our
whatnot."
lineup. And, it's the same thing they did with the Muppets.
Star Wars, too.
Star Wars. I'm telling you, this December, mark my
But this is
fucking
what I'm
words,
getting at.
this is going to be the biggest movie opening
Ever. I said this to Bill the other
in
day.
history. And not just by a margin. It's going to fucking crush shit.
Yeah.
That's what I was
It
saying.
really is.
If you
The
can
second
get
week
Billy,
would be insane.
oh yeah, you're right. But
And
I'm
it's only
saying,
because Disney's involved. Disney had the money. I'm carrying stuff for the movie in late September.
Right.
I'm sorry. Lucas didn't do that.
No.
Right.
But Lucas
Maybe
also...
a
Toys
month
and
before.
comics.
Maybe a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was when the movie came out or after.
Right, they try to do that time up. You know what I mean?
Disney's got the fucking money to do it.
Well, here's the thing now. Lucas is not involved, so that's my opinion, a good thing.
Well, it's the hugest and best thing because...
I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
J.J. Abrams?
I'm not one. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm not one of these guys who's like, oh, Lucas. I'm actually the guy who points
thing
out
is
the
that too-
flaws in the first three movies.
But I'll be honest with you, brother. There's not a lot of people who are Lucas.
That's what I was
Lucas
gonna say.
anymore.
After those-
After episodes 1 through 3.
Yeah, that's very true.
Everybody really
that's
lost their
very
faith
true.
in
Yeah.
that.
No, it's true.
And also, too, people started to realize exactly what was holding everything back was Lucas. It wasn't just his bad creative decisions. It was his
Right.
lack of vision as a business owner. If it wasn't for the fact that Disney came in and was able to, this is kind of like what I was getting at before, was that Disney's able to let things be, whereas Warner Brothers, in an old school Hollywood studio fashion, can't not fucking constantly try and figure out how do we rejigger it, how do we make it,
Notes.
what do we do? It's right. It's
In the
all about
industry,
notes.
it's
It's all
called
about
notes.
notes. It's all about notes. It's all about.
I mean,
let's do it over again. Let's do it over again. Let's do it over again.
I
Let's
mean,
try
I know,
again.
I know you know because you listen to our podcast a lot, but there's,
I know because I
that's-
just know shit.
No, I'm saying what I'm
yeah.
about to say.
Bill
that
knows
there's a
because
lot
Bill
of
It's a new segment coming up.
there's a lot of creators that I've spoken to who work
yeah.
on bigger projects that they're almost afraid to work on Batman or Superman because the original story and the original pitch that they lay down becomes something so fucking different
Right.
because of notes from Disney,
From
from Warner Brothers,
Right. You can't do
from
this, you
DC,
can't do that.
from somebody who's, if there's a movie coming out, does it coincide with the toy line? Does it, the estate of this owner, the estate of that owner of a certain character?
Right.
It's so hard to do anything original with Superman anymore. It really is.
Well, yeah, not even.
And he's a hard
outside-
character to begin with.
Well, not
because-
even outside of the creative. Like, what do you do that's new? It's just like he's saying, like, you can't break the mold if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, I got a
Right.
feeling that the only reason that the Frank Miller Dark Knight 3 is happening is because Frank's not the only one in charge of it. Like,
Right.
it's Frank and
it's
another
also
writer.
been
And
right. It's also been like what 20 years since the original Dark Knight, and people are still talking about that the
longer
way
than that.
people like us
Right.
talk about
almost
Preacher.
30.
right, but what I'm
You
just saying
know?
is that, like, Dark Knight came out. They did Dark Knight 2. There's a lot of criticism on Dark Knight 2 for story ideas and shit like that. And, if they try to do Dark Knight 2 right now, I don't know if Up on High what that would end up being. You know what I mean?
No, true.
But so my suspicion is that, either they came to Frank or Frank came to them. Here's an idea, and somebody was like,
I have no idea. I have no insight.
No, I mean,
into
I have
that.
none either.
Well, I mean, you
my
get
kind of assumption
you
is
get
that
you get.
I'm
the
just
Frank
saying
Miller
that because
name on
sometimes
it.
I may have.
Yeah.
I do talk to
you never
There's
know.
people that I know in the industry that I
You
may
know?
have some. I can glean something.
No.
And I can go, or I can go, But
well,
when it comes to that,
one of the things that I heard that makes me feel like this is a possibility. Like, you know what I mean? That like that at the very least, like, Frank might have pitched something, and then he gets these notes from up high, and so it's like one of the things for Frank might have been to just be like, all right, well, there's my outline. If you want somebody else to work with it, fine. Because of this kind of stuff from up high, and I know it kind of, and Marvel's faces a certain amount of that too with like the X-Men stuff. Like,
I'll be honest with you. What I know from people who have worked with Frank in the past, there's nobody who's given Frank a fucking note.
Well, that's what
and
I mean.
Frank is basically. I'm sure that with this coming out, Frank Miller has basically been like, look, I'm doing this, and I'm willing to give this much,
right?
But I'm not going to give that fucking much,
right?
So if that's even going to happen, I'm not fucking doing it at all.
Well, I kind of have that.
You know what
too.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a fucking great comic, just because of knowing that somebody like Frank Miller is going to be. Now, it could suck also because I mean, for a lot of reasons, but. I think for those reasons, Frank Miller's not somebody who's going to take a lot of shit,
Right, he's not going to take a lot of shit. And I think that, not for nothing, but there's a certain time and a place for a creator to kind of have another hand come into the project and be like, look, this is the kind of thing. I mean, if you let Frank run around on his own, you could be asking for trouble. You could be asking for who knows what we're going to get at the end of this. Like, who knows what Frank's going to fucking bring back in. And as long as there's, fresh, people who were around.
The co-writer on is Brian Azzarello. He's one of the best, maybe not the best writers, but he's one of the most popular writers right now. He's got a ton of books out.
He honestly is, man. I mean, there's not a lot of things that Brian hasn't done. Brian's been hot since 100 Bullets came out in 2003, 4?
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian Azzarello is super well respected, and
I just have a feeling
he's not somebody who needs to particularly take any shit
Yeah.
either. You know what I mean?
Right. But
he doesn't need this project really either. Like push
to a
him
degree.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So.
I just kind of feel like at some level, whether it was Frank's idea or not, hands were put on that project to keep it running right.
Yeah.
To make sure that it didn't fall into the same traps that maybe that second part did.
I mean,
Like,
everybody heard recently about how much money DC is in debt.
Right.
And something as far as the comic line that can pull them out is, something that was one of their most successful books ever, which was, the 2 Dark Knight series.
Right.
And to pull off a third one and have it sell well in this climate where comics are very popular again, they stand to make another windfall. And I could tell you as far as pull lists go, it's on a ton of pull lists.
Right.
I'm going to say, I mean, I'm
percentage
maybe like I said, we have like 450. We may have more at FTX Babyface, but I'm going to say easily probably on 125 pull lists right now.
Right.
And the book hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have it on my pull list because I just didn't really I didn't get around to putting it on my pull list, but I know when it comes out, I'm going to
and a certain amount of people who have lists who may not even be aware that it's necessarily coming. Like, some people are still out of the loop, or sometimes people who try to stay in a loop don't end up in a loop on everything.
Yeah.
DC did a smart thing. They sent out free bags to a lot of retailers. We have them that have the comic is coming on a plastic bag. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Are you done fucking talking?
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. All right, so let's, we're going to go a little long, I guess, with this, but we're going to do this real quick. HBO, there's a rumor now that HBO might be looking at doing a Watchmen series. Mm-hmm. Do you care?
Of course I care.
Well, I mean, I don't mean like literally.
I got to tell you the God's honest truth. I've never seen the movie. I own it. I've never watched it. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Is it still in a plastic wrap?
I think so.
Jesus.
But for me, I'd rather read comics if I have an extra hour and a half. I'm going to read comics. Not that I don't want to. I trust me. I want to see that. I want to see Thor. I want to see Thor 2. I want to see Iron Man 3. I want to see Avengers 2. I haven't watched any of these movies. I've said before, I don't own a movie theater. I own a comic book store.
Priorities.
So, right. But
What about doing screenings at the shop?
I want it to do great, and that'd be great. It's a bit of an investment. And,
I'll bring some folding chairs. I got 4 folding chairs.
Well, right, but and I can't charge for that. And,
no, I know.
But yeah, no, I would love for it to do great.
Well, yeah, because it's like I don't know. I feel like the movie is like fucking 7 episodes of a TV show anyway, because it's fucking long.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Damage Control. Did you hear about that?
What's that?
So Damage Control, remember the book from the 80s, 90s? Damage
the
Control?
Marvel book?
The Marvel book.
Oh.
So ABC is going to...
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's
it's going to be
really
like a
cool.
half-hour comedy.
That would be awesome.
And, this is, I think, a smart move.
That would be fucking incredible. I love that.
So they announced that
shit.
this week.
Awesome.
That they're going to move forward with that.
But you see, when you're doing well, you could afford to do these side projects that can end up being fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And that's a second, quasi spin-off of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
That's been announced already. So you got was it Mockingbird?
Yeah, this Mockingbird thing.
Supposedly coming to ABC, and then you have this. So, like you said, when you're doing well, you can afford to do that shit.
Oh, yeah. And still, Peggy Carter's still
right,
coming back.
Exactly, right. So now you have 4 shows at least. So.
Make it a pretty good dent. All right, so Jessica Jones, have you seen any of these teasers yet? Because I know you're a big Jessica Jones.
I haven't seen any of the teasers, but to me, if Bendis is involved and if they go by the book, there's no way that on Netflix this can't be incredible.
I think because I read the first book because it got re-released recently, so I feel like there's only going to be a small amount of shifting things around to kind of make things work. I got a feeling that they're going to kind of combine the first book and the second book, although I don't really know at which book the Purple Man comes in. I'm assuming it's the second arc because he's not in the first book.
See, I read it in issues, so I'm not exactly sure as far as trades go.
Right. Well, I'm just throwing it out there. I think they're kind of combining both of them because the first round of issues is all very much set up, and here's the tone, here's the feel. It's good shit, really, really good shit though. And then I had Preacher written down, but we already talked about that.
Preacher,
that's a personal fave.
It is. It's one of
everyone.
It's
at this
one of
table,
my
really
top 5 favorite comics of all time, and I if it's handled within 60% of the way it should be, it'll be incredible. It's very original. Right.
It's going to be groundbreaking for TV in a lot of ways, no matter how much they water it down.
I worry, if anything, about like the black comedy aspect of it, only on like how much of that's going to hit as obviously. I mean, certain things are obviously supposed to be funny, but I think there's a certain amount of it that's like it walks a line where like if you're not really, that's the problem with like black comedy stuff sometimes is that like it's like, oh, is that supposed to be a joke?
Yeah.
So for us, like fucking gangbusters, like I just wonder how that tone is going to ring out for everybody else. But like you said, if they come close to half, kind of a thing.
And like they've already made a few small changes like that we noticed way back, like probably almost a year ago now.
When they first announced the casting and stuff.
They first announced the show, and I think we both found it on Bleeding Cool. They had like one of the writers on that website had gotten like the full like first draft of the
pilot.
For the pilot, and like we both read some of it at least anyway. Like they didn't post the full.
They didn't post the full thing, but they had some excerpts.
And like
it.
they did make a few changes that you're gonna notice right out of the gate. Obviously, if you've read the book. Yeah. But it's nothing that like I really had a problem with.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with them. Like movies, TV series, I always look at them as an Elseworlds or a What If. Come as close as you can. I'm down for any changes that make sense in the medium that it's being performed in.
I think sometimes people are just too protective of these adaptions of anything. Yeah. Like, it's like, I read that book. I know that book. Yeah. That book, it's like, okay, well, this is the movie.
I'll say it. I've said it in the past. I'll say it again. Did you really want to see Hugh Jackman running around in a bright yellow and blue suit? I mean,
I never wanted to see Wolverine.
Would have made
in a comic book running around in a blue and yellow suit. Ridiculous. Some jerk decided that looked good. Yeah. The first thing I change them all.
Oh, he's dead now.
So it's classic color palettes that they work with.
Hey, what do you think they do with that Wolverine statue in the Marvel universe? Because Wolverine, he's all encased in adamantium now. I think it'll make a great fountain out in front of the X-Mansion.
It's true.
Well,
so smart.
As we wrap it up, I got a couple things we can do that are kind of quick. We'll see what happens with them. The first one, okay, it's a game. It's a game.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I got 3 cards here, and I'm going to pass these out, and each one of you gets one of them, and on them is a word that is completely made up. This is called Wordulary. Don't show them to each other just yet.
Can we look at it ourselves?
You can look at it yourselves. Now, this word, your task is to make up a definition for this made-up word. It's Wordulary. It's the made-up game of made-up words. So, check them out. If you really feel like you can't come up with anything and you want to try and switch off with somebody else, you can. But I would suggest that you stick to it and see if you can come up with something. And we'll see what you guys come up with when we come back from the break.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages. An ageless force of destruction has been awakened.
30 years ago, they never found any corpse.
Space-age weapons are useless.
Escape is impossible. Godzilla, 1985, starring Raymond Burr.
Godzilla will live.
The legend is reborn in the all-new Godzilla, 1985, rated PG.
All right, we're back from the break, and we're going to finish up this game of Wordulary, the first time ever. What am I doing here?
The ashtray.
Oh, the ashtray? Oh, I got one of those, but that's not your word. Bob, we'll start with you.
My word is Satitude.
Satitude. What do you got for a definition for that, Bob?
Wait. So you say the word and then?
Well, you could do that.
Oh, I thought like an asshole. I'm thinking I have to make up a definition.
I'm just going.
Guess what it is.
That's what I thought it was too, personally.
Mike?
That's what I thought it was.
I thought I would have to give you the definition and you guess which one.
But it's a made-up word, so how are you going to guess a made-up word?
Right. I see what you're saying. But you're just making up a goofy definition.
Okay.
All right.
So Satitude.
Satitude. That one guy on Saturday night, he's drunk at the bar and he's having a grand old fucking time at everybody else's expense, has Satitude.
That's actually pretty good.
That's actually pretty good.
I dig that. I may use that. I like
got a
that.
real case of Satitude.
Yeah, dude, it's Saturday. Woo! You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's
Satitude.
Well, my definition
Well, your word.
and definition goes
Oh,
kind of hand in hand with Bob's.
Okay.
Because this is the science of that guy.
What's
and the word is doucheology.
Doucheology.
So if you were to do the science upon that guy at the bar.
The study of douchebags?
Exactly. You would have
the study of douchiness.
Doucheology.
Doucheology.
So doucheology is the study of Satitude.
Basically.
Satitude dudes.
Okay.
All right. And then Socko,
Well,
what did you have?
Satitude is one aspect of doucheology.
Okay, yeah. There's right. There's subtle levels
I'm sure
of
there
doucheology.
really are.
Yes.
There are different
one
types
of
of
those-
douches, and this covers all of them. Satitude is one type of douche.
This is one of those subtle levels, and the subtle level is jabronium.
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 I'm starting to see a trend here, Bill.
I didn't think it was going to tie in that neatly, but
Jabronium is the study of somebody who thinks that they should be more than they are, but when they speak, they do nothing but make a fool of themselves.
Okay.
You know, they're trying to talk
what do
themselves
you
up.
fucking talk? What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about?
Like it's broonium almost, you know, like in the Staten Island term.
right.
You know, right. You talk yourself up to a point, but you're really not everything you're saying.
Nah. You're suffering from a case of jabronium.
Right. So I don't know. Let's take it for instance. Let's say
You know who's got that?
No, my brother.
Yeah.
He used to work for John Gotti.
Oh,
That's
really?
a jabronium.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. It's
He's
Does Kanye suffer from this? Is this a thing that
I think so.
Or is that like if we did a class about Kanye West, would that be the study of doucheology?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, someone disagree with me, so we can kill the silence.
I'm sure that
Someone just say
Kanye
something.
suffers from Satitude.
So, Bill, what's your word?
Oh, I don't have one. I just run the game.
Did you?
I had. Well, yeah. Well, I have a word. I have a definition for each of them, basically. But you guys pretty much all.
So,
hit
what's
them
your
up.
definition for them?
Well, in my head, doucheology. I figure it was very much the study of fucking douchebags, just in general.
Yeah.
That's very simple.
Very simple, very straightforward. Satitude, I was going to put it as, speaking for my own self, that's the attitude problem I have when I have to work on Saturdays.
Okay.
And then jabronium, I figured was going to be something like maybe when like The Rock takes 2 fucking second stringers and slaps their heads together.
Right, but
like
I didn't want to get into the whole like Jabroni right away.
Yeah.
I think of wrestling. I didn't want to get into that.
I kind of like that was the whole idea.
I'm sorry I let you down.
No, it's not that you let me.
I let you down.
No, you fucking didn't. Now you did because you're telling me how I feel, and now I'm really let down about that. No, the whole idea was to try and give words that kind of felt like they could go a couple different ways. This way, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. But now your word is officially now this word now. That's the definition.
What I said.
Unless somebody, for each of these words, unless somebody out there in listening land can beat these words, these definitions.
Oh, I'm sure they could if they put their mind to it.
That's what I'm saying. So they
Yeah,
can
this is off the
hashtag.
top of our heads, so.
If you got something, hashtag it Wordulary if you're on Twitter, and I'll check those out, and maybe we'll read some of those next week if anybody's got anything. So the words are saturtude, doucheology, and jabronium. But I think these are pretty strong.
Do you want to give the spellings?
I agree.
No.
Please don't. Please don't.
We don't got time for that.
Yeah, that's.
Dom, pull out that box. Socko, block your face. This is the last thing we're going to do. This is another game. We did this once before. We're going to try and guess what comic book he's going to pull out of this box.
Really?
We're going to play like 20 questions.
Okay.
Me and you are not going to look.
Okay.
But did this once before. Eventually, I got it.
I'm going to fail epically.
It's all right. I may as well.
You were just peeking, though.
No. I was looking at. I'm looking at fucking Bobby.
No, you're not. You look the other way.
I have a lazy eye.
Do you?
Like,
All right, I have come to a.
He's got more on him.
So I can put my paper down now?
No.
Well,
There's a lot of writing on this paper.
What is on this paper? Is this your shopping list?
Maybe if I move it closer.
Well, if he holds it up like
So-
that, okay. This one's got a okay.
Yeah.
You
So
can put it down. You can put it down. We can't see it because he's got the backing
Yeah, he's
board
got the
facing
backboard.
God bless the backing boards.
us. All right, so I'd say don't give anything yet. We'll do like 20 questions. Socko, you can ask anything except basically what is this book?
what the book is,
And like who exactly is
and I have
in
to
it.
give you hints until you find out.
What
And we go back and forth.
what year is the book from?
1992.
I'm out.
Okay. Well, that's how it's going to go. It's going to be like that. Is it a team book or a solo book? You want to show it to Bob so you can ask Bob?
It's a solo, right? Yeah.
Bob
it's a
says
solo.
it's a solo. Back to you.
There's a cat.
Is it DC or Marvel book?
It is a Marvel book.
It's a Marvel book solo.
Solo. 92.
Not.
Don't. I know. It's probably something that you want to help
Well,
out.
I'll answer that again. It's
Okay.
a Marvel UK book.
Oh.
Well, now we just chopped it down to like
Is it-
60%.
Is it Death's Head?
No, it is not.
Is it? Oh God! Some of the other ones from that stupid
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
one.
I'm
Death's
out.
Head.
Death's Head is gone, so that's I'm,
He's like,
I'm
what else
done.
am I gonna know?
That's all I got. Transformers?
No.
No. What else was in that stupid line? Death's Head, and there's some other.
Iron Man?
No.
Was that a
I'm just
subtle
trying to
hint?
keep the comic book theme going.
Yeah, I
with
thought
the
you were
music.
trying to help us out.
No, sorry.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Sorry,
oh boy! Oh
no.
boy!
So that's 4 questions I've used.
Is it
Motormouth?
You are correct.
Oh, all right. Motormouth. Wouldn't have even. That was
Winner!
Winner! Socko.
Don't fuck with me!
Well, Socko, for winning that,
What?
I guess for winning that, and also for coming on
I
the
get
show.
to put my hands in the mystery
You
box?
get to put your
Is there a
fingers in.
tarantula in there?
No,
Does
but
he
it's
know about
something.
the red
I don't
balloon?
like a spider.
You get a
The spider
prize.
scare me!
You get a prize that we bought at your store.
I'm scared. It's a blue box. It looks like it was painted by Bill.
Well, yeah,
Oh, hell.
yeah.
Did you say oh hell?
No. But anyway, I'm not rapping anything.
What
and
am I
it's,
doing?
Just open it up. Just take it what's outside. That's your little gift. That's your little prize for coming. It's nothing amazing. I'll let you know that now. Say whatever's on your mind.
Is this Ving Rhames' soul in here?
You thought there would be no Quentin Tarantino reference this episode.
Wow, it's a Joker whoopee cushion.
I figured that might be
That's
right
pretty fucking incredible.
I thought it might be right up your alley.
I was telling my oldest son, Aiden, that because we were watching America's Funniest Home Videos, and there was a whole segment on whoopee cushions, and he was peeing his pants, and I'm like, we don't have a whoopee cushion. We need a fucking whoopee cushion. And I didn't say fuck, but
well, that's because you're a good dad.
That's amazing. Does this work? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. I paid like $1 for it.
I have a fart machine.
Wow, this is like a condom.
Real fart machine.
I'm so excited about it, and I can't open it fast enough.
I can't get it open. I will say this. Like, normally what we do here is we give like a quiz to first-timers. First-time guests. But I was kind of thinking it over, and I'm like, I can't give you a nerd quiz. It's like, like you have a store, so why? I'll handle this complicated technology for you.
I can't do it.
So, Dad!
Don't hurt him. He's giving him a screwdriver.
We couldn't give you the same quiz we would give everybody else.
Pin, and the Ziz wheel will do the rest.
This is the only thing I'm worried about is that there's like a seal. So yeah, it's not like one piece. Does it smell like powdered rubber?
Like I almost don't want to put my mouth
Does it smell like a real whoopee cushion?
Yeah.
So my point being anyway, that we couldn't really give you a quiz because it's like, dude, you got geek cred. You're in a comic shop.
Crazy exciting.
And
Where'd you find this?
And I couldn't top anything in the prize box. For you, it's like,
because everything we give out on the prize round, we buy at your store. So
that and anything I don't like from Loot Crate, basically.
Okay.
Because I got Loot Crate coming now for a couple of months.
Really?
Just to stock up on prizes.
How is that?
It's actually pretty cool, man.
Yeah?
It's actually pretty cool. It's like $13 a month, and you get basically like...
We were thinking about doing one similar, but just like calling it like Comic Book Jones shit. Like, just like, you pay like $5 a month, and you get like whatever we can't sell.
Crate.
You just get shit.
You just
maybe
get
like,
garbage.
Like Waffle didn't finish a slice of pizza.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's like,
so it's the CBJ crap crate.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Don't use that name.
I want to do it, though. I really want to do like a shitty fucking Loot Crate.
You should do like a mystery box type thing.
Yeah.
And like, no, there's no comic book related shit in here.
No. There will be, but then like in addition, there's like a used napkin. Right.
What is this here? Oh, you didn't touch
broken
that,
headphones.
Great.
Yeah, there you
quality.
go. You win.
You win, guy.
I'll participate.
Well, you guys do give away enough. I mean, that is how you got me. It's how you got me. I won those Walking
So if
Dead
it wasn't
books.
for the discounts, you wouldn't shop at our store?
No, I'd just be, of course.
Our sunny personalities.
That's what got me.
You guys in.
I'll tell you one thing, man. You probably don't know this, but I, fairly new.
Confessions
to comics.
I know.
I mean, I think
You
I
can
read.
tell.
You can tell by
He
the way you
owns a
walked in the
store.
store the first time.
He looks around for anybody who knows him.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was my first time going into your store. Was my first time going into a comic shop. So,
was it like walking into
it's
heaven?
all downhill now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you know, I spend
healthy amount of
money every week.
Could be more.
You know what's amazing though, and I'm not taking a
Is that
shot
what
at you. I'm not
everybody
taking a
says?
shot at you. Everybody always says I spend a lot of money.
I spend a
your
lot of
shop."
money.
I
in
spend
it.
so much.
Nice.
I spend a lot of money in your shop.
I really didn't
and
mean
I'm
it
not
like
putting down anybody
Because
but
certain guys
if you
do.
if you knew certain people and
Well,
what they
that's
put
what I
down
was-
at the shop a week, you know what I mean? So, and we do our best to be like, you're absolutely right. Thank you very much. But then there's people who get angry because maybe, they didn't bring their $5 coupon, and we have to explain, well, if you didn't bring it, you can't use it.
Right.
The fuck? I fucking spend so much fucking money here. What are you kidding me? I keep you in fucking business. And it's like, you're listening to this person rant, and you're like,
douchology?
You're like 3 zeros away from
The top
keeping
guy.
me in fucking business, man. Like,
Yeah.
you have no.
I-
And the people who spend the most are the people who are like, no, that's fine. No worries.
They're the least
Yeah.
problematic.
Yeah.
They're the least
You know what I mean?
problematic.
They don't-
Except for when they're taking over the whole counter.
There's
but
a lot
that's
of
it.
those guys, like, they don't even want to come in on fucking Wednesday. They don't want the discount.
Right. They don't
You know,
care
it's
about
just
it.
like, dude, I've been buying comics for 25 years, and I've dealt with a lot of shops, and you guys are just great to fucking deal with.
Right.
Well,
I
on
just
that
want to
basis
fucking
alone.
be here.
That's the main
Once
reason.
again, I'm not
why,
taking a shot.
No, no,
I'm
no.
just saying.
No,
Well,
no,
first off,
absolutely.
to get back to that, I kind of meant it in that way, though. Like,
I'm sure you did.
You know what I mean? But the main reason why I go to the shop every Wednesday is not because I'm really trying to get the discount or anything. It's just because I love going there Wednesday.
Because you got to
know what I
give
mean?
Bill a ride.
Well, that's what it started off at. Yeah.
Well, hey, this guy lives on the other side. He could go to another shop.
thank
You
you,
know,
though.
this guy lives on the other side of the island. He
No,
could go
but
to
I-
another shop
well,
if
not-
he wanted to.
Yeah.
You
okay.
know what I mean?
But I
there's a
mean,
certain
I
amount
just love going there. So it's like not to blow smoke up your ass, but
Yeah.
that's the main reason why I go every Wednesday.
And I'll tell you what too. Me going there, and the first time I was really in there, winning in a raffle was not much like it was not the reason I came back.
You won a raffle?
I won a raffle.
Which one?
I won the Walking Dead raffle.
Did you
10
really?
10
He
bucks.
won
I
2
tell
raffles.
you this every time. 6 months later, I'm telling you
He's won
again.
2 raffles.
I don't remember you ever telling me that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I told you on the podcast.
He
so.
won the $200 shopping spree raffle also.
Mm-hmm.
No one's got it better than me in that store. I don't understand.
No, I remember that.
Because that was more recent.
I remember that raffle because we were fucking excited because it was somebody that we really liked.
Yeah.
And we always say that whenever we're like doing a raffle for like a shopping spree or for a ticket to Comic-Con.
If Greasy Jimmy wears this, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Like if fucking, exactly.
If Greasy Jim touches this fucking thing.
Clumsy Lou wins his shit, fuck that motherfucker.
Clumsy Lou, that's a real person in the
and then
shop.
it's like,
brother.
and I remember when we pulled your name and it was like, Bill, and there were people like at the counter like who hung out who had just bought raffle tickets waiting to know if they won, and we were all like, yeah, all right, and they're like, who won? Who won?
But seriously.
And we're like, oh, you didn't win. Sorry. Because you're not there. We
right.
Like, sorry, you didn't win.
Yeah, we didn't make an announcement because you knew I wasn't there. And they're like, no, but still, who was it? And they're like, oh, it's Bill Sweeney. They're like, who was that fucking guy?
I remember I was there, Tiger was there, Waffle was there, and it was like, who's going to call Bill?
I remember this debacle.
Who's going to call Bill? Because we all wanted to call Bill and tell him that he won.
And then after all that, I
felt like you're one of the few people, because we've called people before, and they're like, all right, cool, I'll talk to you later, man. And it's like,
well, you knew you'd get a good call on me, but sadly, I didn't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I was busy. I was doing something.
Yep.
So when I checked the voicemail, actually what I got was the Waffle.
I was here when you looked.
Yeah. And Waffle was like, you won the fucking raffle. Yeah, it's great. Okay, why don't you come in one day and spend it, and whatever the P's and Q's were, he kind of slipped in
I'm going to
there.
finish eating his Subway sandwich and banging his broad.
Every Wednesday I come in and that kid's fucking eating. I can't even figure it out now. It's just the timing of it. He's going
No,
out
it
for
is the
dinner.
timing.
It's the timing. That's the time for his dinner break.
No, actually, it's not. Waffle just eats constantly.
He's just
all
always,
the time.
He's just always kind of
All the
chomping
time.
on something.
People bring him free sandwiches. People love them.
People bring him free sandwich. I got a free sandwich.
There you go.
You can trust it.
Yeah, enjoy.
You could trust this.
You could trust this half a sandwich. All right, kids, we're going to wrap it up. Socko Jones.
What?
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
There was no more accusations.
This is like the final thought. Socko Jones, you
Socko
motherfucker.
Jones. You motherfucker, you.
No, I hope
So-
I hope I did right by your listening audience.
Oh, no, you absolutely did. I don't. If they don't like it, that's tough on them. Fuck 'em.
Mm-hmm.
They just sat through about 2
I feel like your
hours.
brother hates me though.
Why?
You know?
Why do you
I don't know.
think
I feel
that?
like I took too long and
Nah,
drank
not
too
at all.
much. I think he's mad at me. I think he's gonna hit me with his guitar.
He might. Not that one. He
Nah.
just did some work on that. He's not going to hit you with that one. He's got
Well,
another one
it's
in
going
there.
into
He
the
might.
shop when the show's over. So.
Oh, okay. So he might to loosen it up.
See, there you go.
You know,
Yeah.
And I'm Polish, so you hit my head. I may not even notice.
it's a horrible thing to say about you people.
I'm sorry. We're
Yeah.
very racist on my show,
Yeah,
but it's all in good fun
well, speaking of
because
your
we're picking
show,
on ourselves.
Speaking of your show, let's plug it a little bit. WCBJ Radio. You can find it on iTunes and wherever good podcasts are posted. I almost said sold, but wherever good podcasts
Big
are
change is coming.
Wherever
Big change is coming.
podcasts
Yeah,
are
you're gonna
sold.
shift some things around. with
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
podcast?
get a little more consistent. Not
right.
gonna lie, I'm not exactly happy with how it's going right now.
Don't oversell it, but I understand.
But yeah.
Okay.
Don't oversell it because I got to finish up right now.
Because I'm trying to do something.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna that whole thing you're gonna talk about is gonna change anyway. Well, that's why I always say that's why I always say don't oversell shit because you get paint yourself into a corner. Anyway, so Socko Jones, you can find Comic Book Jones at comicbookjones.com. If you want to do any online purchases, why don't you do it through their store? They got that stuff all set up.
Twitter at Comic Book Jones.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Facebook, whatever it is.
Facebook, Comic Book Jones, something.
Yeah, just come in the shop. 10% off every Wednesday. Issue 1s, volume 1s are always 20% off. This is coming out on Monday.
This is coming out on Monday.
It's coming out on Monday. So when you're listening to this, the following Wednesday, we're going to have Ben McCool there signing for Grumpy Cat issue 1.
Very nice.
Ben McCool will also be sticking around for the podcast afterwards,
Nice.
which we have a live studio audience. So hang out. Ben is, honestly, he's one of my...
McCool. He's
one of my dearest friends in
I
the
know you
world.
guys
And
go way
he's
back.
also one of the funniest fucking people I know, and he's got a great Birmingham English accent. So
That just makes it funny.
And if
It
you
really
live
does.
on Staten Island and you read comics and you're not going to Comic Book Jones,
Stop it.
what are you doing?
Just stop it.
No. I thought you were gonna do one of our things that we do. You know, if you look, you go to a digital store.
I was about to
tell
start
Socko's family why they're not eating this week.
No, do the ad from the podcast.
Yeah.
I was about to start commenting into that too, but
I wouldn't do that.
Thank you.
Once again, Socko, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. Honestly,
listen,
man,
we are going to have you again someday.
Fantastic experience.
If,
I would love to come back.
And then we'll, I don't know, talk about something else, I guess.
We'll have you back after we set up the green room.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That sounds
I like
good
that.
to me.
Bob's going to offer up his bedroom.
Maybe next time you should have me and Tiger together.
I'm all for that. You know,
Tiger won't say much.
Tiger is like dealing with a wild animal. You never know what you're going to get from him. You know?
After we have you on, we're going to start our snowball effect of Comic Book Jones employees.
That was kind of like the plan at one point. Was that kind of like break the seal with you and then try and get them all one a week, but that's not going to happen quite like that. But we are going to get somebody from over there. And then Dom, I'm going to thank you for coming in today, for helping out. Yeah, let's give Dom a little fucking applause. Clappy, 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 clap, 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 clap.
Thank you.
And a little bit for Bob, the seal. Don't clap for me.
And thank you to our host,
No,
Billy, William.
No, whoa.
He hates that.
Watch your fucking mouth.
I like Bill. I like Bill. I like Bill. I like Bill. He's okay. He doesn't give me a hard time when I have to have a cigarette in his house. Thank you, Bill. Enjoy your time.
All right.
You do good things for yourself.
You got me. I jammed up. I didn't know what to do. All right, Bob.
Where do you shower? Where's your shower?
Yeah.
Nature has a way sometimes of reminding man of just how small he is. She occasionally throws up the terrible offsprings of our pride and carelessness to remind us of how puny we really are in the face of a tornado, an earthquake, or a Godzilla. The reckless ambitions of man are often dwarfed by their dangerous consequences. For now, Godzilla, that strangely innocent and tragic monster, has gone to Earth. Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.